Hello, everybody. How is it going? So for some reason, this game is using like 0% of my GPU, but OBS is going to the fucking moon. I have no idea why. It is so difficult, I suppose, to capture this game. It's very strange. So I'm hoping there's gonna be like more, like it literally says using 0.1%, but OBS is using like 100% of the cow, which I find very funny. Oh my god, is my VTube studio lagging? That's so funny. But yeah, also this game is fucking loud, and I have it turned down. And I'm like really hoping that there are settings and stuff, because I don't want to miss the cold open if there is one, because I'm assuming there's gonna be a cold open. Hello. Oh my god, yeah, alright, my VTube studio is dying. Why was it dying? What was happening? These RTX textures are too much for my 3070. The Fallacy Quiz was actually made for... it was actually made for people with, like, 50, 70s, 60, 90s, you know. Alright, so, we're playing this game today because I saw a bald man playing it, and I started watching the video, and I was like, alright, I just need to play this game. I need to not have any of this shit spoiled for me. There's exactly, like, one thing, and it's gonna be really funny when I answer it correctly, but at the same time, yeah, we're, I don't know, man. It's like, why are you playing this stupid-ass game instead of just, like, streaming Monster Hunter? Like, what is, what is it? I guess this isn't just a quiz game. No, I think it mostly is, like, 90%. That was my understanding. But I guess the reason... I don't know how to explain this. I wonder if this will have the kunk cost? What is the kunk cost? Yeah, so... I don't know how to explain why I find this fascinating. Or why I find fallacies in general fascinating. Because the general idea, there's like multi-levels, multi-layers of logic, basically. So my understanding in any kind of formal argument or having to do with the concept of fallacies in general is that, like, you're assuming there's a point to be arguing, and that the orators are accurately explaining any information that they have. Like, that is important. Which is going to be really funny when we get to the first one. Which, again, has unfortunately been spoiled for me. But it's kind of like... you have to think more meta than that. Hey, Rue, welcome. You have to think more meta than that. So, the idea that somebody would fallaciously try to convince you of something usually implies that, I don't know, maybe they don't have a good understanding of what the thing is, maybe they do but can't quite get it across, maybe they're just trying to communicate something to you. Like, there's all kinds of reasons. Right, so, which is one of my favorite fallacies, by the way. It's gonna be really funny if it's in here, I hope it is. Hey Spyro, welcome. So, I know that I'm incompetent, and they don't know that I don't know. So yeah, obviously I do not have all of the fallacies memorized. Which is why I'm kind of, like, part of the reason why I wanted to play this was, like, I wonder how many of these are going to, like, tick my bullshit radar and go, like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. But I won't really know what the name is yet. Because I've definitely looked at them before. I've seen several a video. Notoriously, it's so funny to me, man. Notoriously, I think Tectone watched a video that was like, here's all of the fallacies, and then like he did the dude bro loop. How does, like, he did the dude bro loop of like, oh well, now I know this term, so I'm gonna use this term to like explain what you're doing, and then like, wow, look at how smart I am. And then that's just like, it doesn't matter. It's like, it does matter, but it also doesn't. That's the point. So, I don't know. I find the entire domain of logic and argument funny from a, I suppose, meta perspective. Part of it is a meta perspective, part of it is just, I don't know, man. Like, it's so funny to me. People just being really angry about stupid shit. It's just funny. That's all. That basically is what it boils down to, is that this shit is just really funny to me. I can clarify. Every angle of how you would approach a fallacy or the entire concept of logic is just funny to me. Like, it's just funny, right? Because you can be like, okay, someone used a fallacy, and it's like, that's funny. It's funny that they would use a fallacy to try and prove their point. And then there's like the person who's like, that's a fallacy, that's not like a real argument. Like, that's funny to me. And then like the entire fact that we have made a concept which is called fallacies that people can look at and observe is funny to me. And the fact that we would like use them in the first place is funny to me. It's just all funny. All of it is fucking hilarious. So we're gonna dive into that today. What did I jump into? This is the Fallacy Quiz. So I suppose for anyone who doesn't, first I really need to get to the settings, dude, because I guess the starting screen just like wants to fucking destroy my graphics card. But as you can tell, I am lagging. So, yeah, and, you know, I don't really know how to say this, but one of the things that bothers me the most, for sure, is that, what is it called? I'm not trying to get too much on Lyria Mama's case, but she's definitely one of those, like, she's definitely on the, like, appeal to nature train, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, with much love to Lyria Mama, she, that one drove me nuts when I was young. That shit drove me absolutely insane. So that's my personal baggage, and we're gonna see if there's a fucking settings menu. Alright. Each game for 3 rounds of 5 questions, you have to identify whether or not the presented statement is fallacious. Oh, there was also supposed to be some kind of joke about fallating, and can we conflate fallacies and fallating and phallic objects, etc. You can find a fallacy in everything. Oh god, I just made a fallacy. Hey, stop. Stop. Yamato Var loves to do the Leonardo meme of him wrestling, recognizing the fallacy. Yeah, it's like, that's funny. That's a meme. There are formal fallacies that are easy to spot because they are explicitly invalid, but don't forget informal fallacies that seem logical, but what they imply is not. The faster and more accurately you choose, the higher your score. That's like when you burn something, right? Of course. When you conflate, when you fillet, when you informally fillet, you're implying that you're fallaciously inflating. No one is inflating here. Nobody is inflating. The first game that teaches you how to gaslight. Here we go. Yeah, by the way, I wanted to mention, if you saw this, you can see the, like, square of the texture here. It sometimes clips through the side, and I just find that really funny. Conflagration. It's like one of my favorite magic cards. Is that a magic card? Inflation? I didn't know what kind of stream this was. Yes, this is an inflation stream. As you play, you can unlock pages from the Fallacy Glossary and improve your critical thinking skills. Yeah, see, this is literally the shit. It's so funny to me, man. Because it's like, hear me out. Critical thinking is a thing, right? There's a definition for critical thinking. Being able to apply a critical lens to a fallacy quiz to point out fallacies is, in fact, using critical thinking. You could say that it is improving your perception and your ability to use critical thinking. That's all great. However, if I ever say out loud to somebody that I have improved my critical thinking skills using the fallacy quiz, I need somebody to shoot me in Minecraft with an arrow, or perhaps that are... Stop myself before I said penis, so we're not gonna do that. Oh, man. It's like good to enjoy, it's like good to have perception, and it is also good to, like, how would I say this? Having the perception is good. The reality of the situation, good. Pointing it out to everybody so that you can push your glasses up, so that you can say that you improved your critical thinking skills, probably deserves for you to get shoved into a locker. Okay. Oh, there's multiplayer. This is so cute. Why is it so cute? Okay, give me 2 seconds. I want to look at the, I would like to look at the settings just to see if I can improve something. So I'm going to hide the game screen for 2 seconds. Okay, audio for sure, global way down. And I will turn this back up again. I'm just gonna turn the graphics down to like nothing. I'm gonna set it to minimum, enable shadows, turn off shadows. VSync, no. 60 FPS. Windowed is fine. Alright, let's see if that did anything. Okay, did that help us? I think that helped us. Logic and semantics was my favorite course. Yeah, and honestly, like, I'm not a... I came here for thighs and group gooning, not homework. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Here. Let me just do this for you. Here you go. Bye, Cam. There's your daily thigh prescription. You're welcome. And now we're gonna get to, you missed, loser, dumbass. And now we're gonna get to, the homework part. Eat your vegetables. Did you know that this category on Twitch has 6 followers? How many of those people are probably like dude bro fallacy guys? They get pinged that this is a category that they're following, and they see that it's like a blonde anime girl dude and a And a blonde anime girl avatar. They don't even know what a VTuber is. That should be hilarious. Okay. So let's try playing the game. Let's see. Start game. Easy mode. We don't have expert mode. All we have is easy mode. Alright, round 1. Here we go. Are you ready for this? Oh, also, I want to get this. Wait, hold on a second. So I'm going to pause. It's going to pop up. It's going to do it. There's an achievement for this, which I think is very funny. But we're not going to worry too much about score. That's not why we're here. We're here to meme blast about the things. Easy modo. Oh. All right, so we're going to, I don't know. We'll play it by ear, but let's see. So resume. To lose weight, you have to either reduce the amount you eat or space out your meals. What will you do? Cut back or spread it out? This person is oversimplifying to 2 options? Is that a fallacy? Yeah, false dichotomy? Like, certainly an aspect, yeah, false dilemma. Like, there's certainly an aspect of, like, losing weight that has to do with your eating. Like, that is true, right? But the fact that they lead it into what of these 2 options are you going to do is like a problem, right? False dilemma. Yeah, what is the actual definition? Let's see. Yeah, see, this is the other thing, right? That's going to be fun, is that I get to find out what the actual literal definitions of these are. Often in a discussion, you may be asked to choose between several possibilities, and this can be useful for clarifying positions. But sometimes the list of choices presented isn't complete. Some choices are presented while others are hidden. By choosing one of these options, even though what you actually think was not given as a choice, you end up defending positions that you would have never defended otherwise. The best thing to do is to ignore the proposed choices and answer the question as if it were open-ended. Let's see, how would we do this? This is the other thing, is now I need to apply my brain power and attempt to abstract the concept. It's like the only thing going through my head is like, chat is dumb. So therefore dumb. Circular reasoning. But yeah, that's the other funny thing too, I guess, is that like I don't typically use these, right? So I don't normally like do this. Ending of Darker Than Black. Okay, wait. Maybe like video game choices that don't typically I know that the reality of a video game choice is that they all need to be scripted out and stuff like that, right? But my friend was talking about the ending of the hold on a second. Also, we'll get to you, Spyro, in 2 seconds. I just want to, like, my brain needs to wake up. We need to cerebral this stream, you know what I'm saying? It was like, at the ending of the Cyberpunk DLC, you have to basically choose between the 2 factions. And obviously, the dilemma, or like a dichotomy there, is that, like, these are the things that they made. Like, you can't choose anything in between. But it's like, here's what the problem is. And then you have to choose one of the 2 NPCs when, like, we very easily could have solved this problem without doing that. Like, the list of options is incomplete in a sense. But that isn't really, like, an argument, necessarily. It's just a funny other way that this could occur. Yeah, so the main problem, Spyro, I don't know if you want me to explain these to you, because again, this is all fun and games. And I really hope they have, like, my favorite fallacy in here. Like, one of my favorite ones, because it proves my point, which is exactly why I'm gonna point it out. Push his glasses. But yeah, it's like, don't worry about it too hard, honestly. But a false dilemma is that, like, they led with a fact that was true. And then they said, from that fact, are you going to do A or B? Like, that's it. So, realistically, from the fact that they presented, there could have been A, B, C, D, E, like, all kinds of different answers, but this person is presenting that you only have 2 options. And as it says at the bottom, basically if you answer A or B, they have like a response prepared for that, where you end up trying to defend a position that you weren't trying to defend in the first place. They just kind of go like, well, these positions are easier to attack. Sounds more like a straw man now that I think about it. Eating bread makes you fat. One guy who plays this game watches that scene. That's a logical fallacy! Yeah, logical fallacy bros are also the worst. Okay. But yeah, so, what's another good... Okay, so let's do this real quick. Making something subjective objective? No, that's something different. I don't know. For anyone who wants to, why don't we just say like a fallacious statement right now? Just for fun. I already said the one in the title, so this is a fallacious statement, Spyro. Yeah, chat is dumb because they are stupid. That is not a real statement. Like, that doesn't make sense. That is not how you would ever convince somebody that chat is stupid. I could say valid. I could say that chat is stupid because I've seen several times that they try to point me around in video games and they are frequently wrong. So I do not trust the opinion of chat to guide me in the right direction. So my conclusion is that they are dumb. That's not even necessarily true either, just for the record, but the logic is that it's funny. There's another fallacy that has to do with like what's it called? There's another one that has to do with making extrapolations about things with unwarranted reason. But I don't know. It's like, it depends to what degree, honestly. Flour is incredibly attractive and flat. This is a logical fallacy because you can't be attractive and flat. Jesus. I bet I can make a fallacy right now. Flour's tits are small because they are tiny. Well, yeah, so I mean, that is a... Wait a second. No, but that's true. Wait. That's true and also rude. Okay. WeChat as a collective mind are smart. No. Chat is always dumb. So, tautology, titology, what's the difference? Yeah, making something subjective objective would be something more like, green is the best color, so you should believe green is the best color. Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny to me, right? Because like I just don't use these, which is why I'm just so bad at like trying to formulate them in my head. The only thing I really have is a general bullshit radar on when people do stupid shit. I can confirm that I'm smarter than a 5th grader. I mean, that's good for you, Cooler. You have to love or hate Flour. Yeah, exactly. You can't be anywhere in the middle. You must love or hate. Alright, let's go back. Okay, next one. Look, we've been doing it this way for 2 generations. Perhaps it's time to mix things up. See, clearly, this is just a valid statement. I think that all ways that we have done things in the past, all old ways we have done things, is bad, and we do have to change all of it. Every old way we have done anything is bad, and we should replace it. So funny. That was valid? Wait, what? Really? Wait, hold on a second. Why was that valid? Wasn't the premise that they were stating was that they should change it because it was being done a particular way? Or is it just because it was their opinion? So I shouldn't mark things that are their opinion as invalid? Give some time to read. Oh, well, it is a timed quiz, so I don't know if it's gonna time me out. Here, let's see. What if we just... Can I just, like, leave it? Because I know it ticks. No, there's a timer thing on the right. Okay. They didn't say this has been done like this in the past, so it should be changed. Yeah, they said maybe it's time to mix things up. So anytime it is presented as a maybe, soda in cereal when, we have to change the meta. Alright. You say that protesters shouldn't damage schools. That's real cool for all the other buildings, thanks. I'm pretty sure this sounds bullshit. Jumping to conclusions. What is the definition of this? Okay, someone who doesn't have all the necessary elements to conclude on a subject may invent elements without proof. In order to reach the desired conclusion, they're late, they should really get a move on. We don't know why they are late, but we will assume it's their fault and conclude it's due to laziness when it might be a transit issue. In this case, it is best to make explicit what is implied and ask for proof. So you think it's their fault, why? Yeah, so this person was like, you think it is okay to damage schools? Well, I guess that's good for all the other buildings. Is that jumping to conclusions? I'm trying to think of what else it could be. Because it's like... Yeah, wow, this game is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. When I'm like, yeah, I can make examples for these, I cannot make examples for these. The jump is to assume they're fine with damaging other buildings. Yeah, but I'm... Like, I know that, but I was like, isn't this something else? Like, I thought this was another thing. It's the classic, like... Now I'm trying to not touch political topics. But it's like, oh, let's say pissing in the shower. Yeah, it's like a slippery slope, exactly. So it's like, if you piss in the shower, well, you must be fine with shitting in your own bed. Right? Because if you're, like, trying to prove that it's disgusting that you would piss in your own shower, and then you're saying, like, well, if you're fine with that, you must be fine with this other thing. But yeah, is that, like, I guess that is just jumping to conclusions. Yeah, I know it is slippery slope, I guess. But it's also not like... Yeah, in which that case, Twitter, yeah, I mean, basically, but... You know, at least one famous person that was fine with defecating on the bed. Yeah, but it's kind of like... So in the case of the pissing and shitting, it would be like... So... Yeah, it's like, so you think that it is okay for me to defecate in every area of my house. I was only suggesting that it was okay to do that in the shower. Like, why do you think it is okay that I can do it everywhere else? Or why do you believe that? Reductio ad absurdum also might work. Yeah, we're gonna figure out what that one is, I'm assuming, later. Alright, let's go back. I like pancakes. Do you like... So you don't like waffles? Yeah, something like that. I don't agree with the big movie critics. I like this movie. It was a good time. I don't agree with the big movie critics. I like this movie. It was a good time. I mean, this is just a matter of opinion, right? Like, they are stating accurately that they do not agree with the other person. Right? The example was about it not being fine to damage schools, but in the case where someone says it's fine to damage them, a slippery slope argument would be something like, if that's fine, then damaging other buildings will be too. Right, yeah, so they were saying it's not okay for protesters to damage schools. I'll have to reread that one. Again, it's a shame that we can't do like a free exploration of these to just talk about them. But yeah, this is just someone's opinion, is it not? This is just, they're accurately saying that they disagree with the other person's opinion and that they had a good time. Right? Yeah. Okay. Just because we've never done it doesn't mean it's impossible. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Just because we haven't done it. Yeah. I think this is valid. I think this is valid, but they're not saying how you're gonna do the thing. You could also say that I'm pretty sure there's one where it's like suggesting that the impossible is possible. Like, it's kind of like, so it's like the, God, how do I say it? I'm trying to remember it. It's the like, I don't know if I want to touch this topic. Basically, I'm going to say this with the understanding that this does not matter to me, but you could say potentially that the reasoning behind it is not necessarily valid. Is that it's like, well, just because we haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of logic, it could be similar to that. But, you know, it's like, well, yeah, depending on the context, because something far winds woke pretty tight. Depending on the context, because some things are impossible to do, like breathe in space without a spacesuit. Yeah, so if you're saying something along the lines of like, well, just because we haven't had jiggle physics on the entire body of an anime girl yet doesn't mean that we can't do it in the future. But you could say that this person is oversimplifying it. And yeah, also depending on the context. I'm gonna say that this is invalid because it feels like unfortunately we have tried that one. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for the poor fuck who had that happen to them. I'm gonna say that this is invalid because the game probably leans harder on things being invalid. So we'll see. Nope, it was valid. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, ready? Round 2. I prefer this candidate because I think it's a better choice. I mean, this is just accurate, right, guys? Well, yeah, because we kind of went through it, right? It's like, if they were trying to assert something that was genuinely impossible, then it was probably fallacious. But if they were just saying that, if they were saying that there's potential, circular reasoning, but not exactly wrong. No, isn't this like an appeal to emotions or something like that? Because it's basically like, this is my opinion, so therefore they're good. But we might not necessarily agree on what our opinion is. X is good because X is good. Well, like, this candidate, it's the thing is, it's like, there's this candidate is good because they are good, and then there's like, this candidate is good because I like them. Or like, one is your opinion. The point is that like your opinion doesn't matter. So this is the fun thing, is that like, you are allowed to have an opinion and you are allowed to assert to other people what your opinion is. However, it doesn't prove the point of whether or not the candidate is good. Right? Like, that's the main thing. And these are my favorite ones because it's like, again, if it's like an opinion, right? Like the thing with the movie, right? Where it's like, oh, Like, I just had a different opinion than this person. I had a good time. I thought it was good. If I then asked them, like, what was good about it, and then, like, they said, well, it's good because it's good, then it'd be a fallacy. But they're allowed to have an opinion that is potentially valid, just for all intents and purposes. Their opinion is valid. They did have a good time, and they can't explain it. But technically, they are not explaining why it was good. Sometimes wording in this game is a bit weird and misleading. Yeah, like, again, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not concerned. Politics in my video game? Keep politics out of my games! Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play Metal Gear Rising, a game that has no political commentary. Yeah, I think... I don't really know what... I don't know if it is, like, specifically a fallacy, but there's, like, a paradigm. Is it a paradigm? Like a trend? There's the thing. Which I don't know if I've explicitly said this opinion before on stream. But the idea to bring a form of logic, right, or a logical lens to something, in my opinion, is something that you bring as a person to a set of stimuli. So, like, people will often say politics are in everything, right? Like, that is, like, a belief that they assert. But I believe that in order to see everything through a political lens, you as a person need to choose to do that. So things don't have to be about politics, even if you can view it through a political lens. I could, like, make a Rube Goldberg machine that attaches everything to VTubers. That doesn't necessarily mean that everything has to do with VTubers, right? I could say, like, every single game has to do with VTubers in some way or another, but that doesn't make it true. Right? It's just, like, through certain lenses, it can be true. This is fallacious. Circular reasoning. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I thought there was another one, though, for this. Circular argument is a circular argument. It's as simple as that, and just as stupid. Yeah, so I guess it just came down to... I wasn't sure if there was a specific fallacy for, like, you just asserting your opinion. But yes, X is good because X is good is, in fact, what they were saying. Let's go to the next one. For a survey, people were called at their landline phones during the middle of the day, asked about their employment situation. This year, the numbers of unemployed people have skyrocketed according to the study's results. So this is, like, this is a selection bias. The only people that would be home to answer their phone in the middle of the day are the people who would not be employed. But I don't know what they call that. Call me crazy, but I think the devs don't like fallacies. I don't know. Who knows? Crazy? It's crazy, what? Yeah. What, you don't like fallacies? They're the best way to prove arguments. If everyone else is stupid, you can just use fallacies and convince them. So you should always use fallacies. Alright, well, this is fallacious. It is like some kind of biased generalization. Yeah, this is like a selection bias, right? So it involves a generalization based on a sample that is not representative. Yeah, exactly. So the way they collected the data was just, like, ridiculous. If you cannot convince an idiot, try gaslighting. For example, in an online survey, asserting a claim about all citizens, whether they have computers or not, would be a biased generalization. Yeah, because the only people who would answer an online survey would presumably be people who can use computers. The last time I heard quiz was in school, and I already hate this. Wait, but why? Isn't it funny? I think this shit's so funny. It's hilarious. The resemblance with a valid study here can be quite deceptive. The sample size may be large enough and the study may seem rigorous. What's fallacious is the choice of the set about which the conclusions are drawn. Make sure the sample is representative of the set about which conclusions are claimed. Yeah, exactly. So this one was like, well, obviously the people who are going to answer in the middle of the day are people who are not working. My brain is getting fried. I apologize that this is causing you psychic damage. This shit is so funny to me, though. Because the other thing that I find funny about these, right, is that there are people who will say this shit and believe it with their, like, entire asshole. Like, they will, like, cite this study, for example, right? They'll be like, guys, unemployment, it's going up. Unemployment is so high right now because look at this study about the people who were called in the middle of the day. And then it's like, yeah? Is that what we're running with today? Is that for real? Like we're real about this one? It's just so funny to me, man. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's like the secret smug energy. Like, I'm not even judging them, you know what I mean? I already said where it's like, they're just living their life, man. Like, it's fine, man. The human brain fucking sucks ass. It's a dumb pile of fat that makes makes zappy connections in your brain go burr and then shit comes out. Alright, next one. Hit me with it. Even if I play the lottery my whole life, I'm not necessarily going to win. This is just true. There is no guarantee that you are going to win the lottery. I'm not sure I agree, but you seem to be very concerned about that topic. It's really cute how much you care about stuff like that. I mean, they bolded really. The human brain is a human brain. That human brain's my human brain. And brain's the brain. My brain hurts. Electrons do move when your synapses fire. Yeah, but it's a different term. Ad hominem, I guess. Google, I have 99 studies saying they don't, and one study that says it's true. When there's news about rising, for example, unemployment, sometimes it is true, but locally, not globally. For example, a factory got shut down and in certain areas unemployment has risen. Yeah, which again, like, there isn't actually an issue with saying, like, usually the problem is someone is trying to prove a tertiary point, right? They're making an extrapolation. And why someone wants to make an extrapolation, like, again, let's say you want people to go work. And then you say, well, unemployment is on the rise. And then you show them that, like, a bunch of people just lost their job at a factory. So therefore, all these unemployed people should go get jobs. Right? The problem isn't the fact that something factually happened in reality, which is that unemployment is up in this area because a bunch of people lost their jobs. The problem is that someone made an extrapolation on that to prove some point that people don't fucking agree with. Like, you know, it's the person who made the extrapolation that is the problem. Like, it is their logic and what they are trying to do with it that is the problem. The actual fact of the matter isn't an issue. It's kind of the issue that, like, often arises in data, where people are like, no, man, like, data is completely objective. Like, there's no problems with data. Like, the data just shows you the numbers. It's all objective. And it's like, no, someone has to interpret the data. And also, like, the selection is its own set of bias as well. I hate it when motherfuckers say that's cute that you think that way. Feels like they're passive-aggressively trying to downplay my argument. Well, yeah, I mean, like, we can tell that this person's kind of, you know, they're... Yeah, maybe ad hominem, like they're attacking the person themselves. By saying you're really cute for believing that, you're essentially implying that they're an idiot. They could just think you're cute. That's a cute way of thinking. Thank you for patting my head. There are lies, damn lies, and statistics. Yeah, so this person is probably... Yeah, ad hominem makes sense because, like, they're... They're basically implying that the person is dumb for believing what they believe. Appeal to ridicule. This is interesting. What is this one? People distorting and exaggerating your statements to make them sound ridiculous will happen. So this is like... if you want to hit the gaslight button, you are ridiculous. The goal isn't for people to believe in these exaggerations, but to make them laugh. If the audience laughs at you, it becomes way harder for them to listen to you. In your rehabilitative justice system, will you be the one catering breakfast to the convicts' beds? Yeah, so this is like just dropping some kind of roast and being like, haha, wasn't that funny? Like, what would be a way to undermine, yeah, like, remember that one time where Rue was, like, really, really wrong about how that one legendary Joker worked? That was super funny. I'm pretty sure that means we can never listen to Rue's opinion ever again. I mean, that's kind of like 1 and 2, but... basically, look at this dumbass. Yes. Yeah, like, remember that one time in EDH where you time walked 5 times and didn't win the game? That was really funny. If they aren't funny, leave an awkward silence right after and see who really feels ridiculous. Otherwise, go ahead and laugh too, then ask to get serious again and start back where you left off before the appeal to ridicule. Alright. You got a bad grade at your test. Can you tell me why you didn't study at all? Yeah, so this is assuming that they didn't study. Right? I don't know what that's called. But, isn't this, jumping to conclusions? That's what it'd be, right? Oh, also, is my phone lagging again? Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to fix it. Hold on. Hold on. I should probably just get into the habit of restarting my phone. We'll just have a quick little discussion while this is resetting. How's the weather, chat? Haha. Pass out of me and umption. Okay. I have to reset my phone. But yeah, this is jumping to conclusions. This is my favorite shit. What do you mean? D- is a great score? I don't know more than 3/4 of the material. It's clear for miles? What does that mean? Alright, phone. I need you to work, please. It's crazy. I've not, in my 3 years, had issues with my phone randomly lagging. Maybe it is time to... maybe having the phone on for, like, multiple hours, several times a day, running VTube Studio is, like, not good about... not good for my phone. You asked how the weather was? Oh. Yeah, sorry. I'm literally the king at, like, asking a question and then immediately forgetting what I said 2 seconds ago. Gotta say, it's disappointing to see you cheat on every question. Why are you too dumb to do it properly? Pounces on conclusions. Oh, man. Okay, is my... it's gonna turn on any second now. Any second now. My phone is gonna turn back on. It's gonna be great. It's gonna load VTube Studio. It's gonna work. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. Looks good to me. All right. Let us continue. This is valid, right? This is what Lyria Mama said all the time, so obviously it is valid. Loaded question. Okay, this is slightly different than jumping to conclusions. Oh yeah, because it is asserting what the conclusion is in the... that makes sense. So I'm going to ask you a question that contains a problematic implication. If you respond regardless of your answer, you're implicitly validating the problematic implication. People listening could think if they answered, that means that they thought the question was valid. As soon as you spot this type of question, do not answer. You have to highlight the problematic implication and refute it immediately. Yeah, so instead of saying, no, I did study, it would be like, why are you assuming that I did not study? Flar is judging me? Yes, I'm judging all of the chatters because they are all stupid. We need... Does your mom know you're gay? Classic. Yeah, why do you think I'm gay? Oh wow, my phone is still lagging. That really is too bad. Okay, well, nothing to be done. Be prepared, the person might try to defend themselves by saying they didn't make any claims since it was just a question. Sorry, this is gonna tilt the shit out of me. Why is this happening? So, maybe I think it's currently just lagging because it's starting up. But I'm gonna close all these other tabs just in case. Hopefully it'll start working. Okay. So loaded question is specifically when it implies something through asking the question. Okay, round 3. Trust me, it hasn't rained 3 days in a row, so you should prepare for a picnic tomorrow. This is extrapolating that the last 3 days has anything to do with the next days. Hot hand fallacy. What is this one? Hot hand fallacy is the opposite of the gambler's fallacy. It's believing that after winning a hand at poker, you have a better chance of winning again. Many people make this mistake, and your interlocutor? What is that? That's a fancy word that I don't know. May exploit this by mentioning past events that all had the same outcome to claim this outcome repeating would be more likely. To be fair, a day's weather is not an isolated event. Person you're talking to? Oh, is an interlocutor. What, they're not an interloper? Here you should explain that in random experiments, outcomes are independent. No, but like, if I... You wanna know what's my favorite about the hot hand fallacy and the gambler's fallacy? Is that the reason I like playing card games is that, like, the gambler's fallacy is actually just true. To an extent. So, technically, every card in your deck is an isolated... Like, it is in an absolute position that, like, you are more or less likely to draw to based on it having an absolute position in your deck. This is true. But, technically, every card you draw is one card closer to the card you could have drawn. So, by understanding that about how, like, a deck is constructed, it's fun to play games like Slay the Spire, where you go, like, okay, well, actually, 100% for real, in the next 5 cards, I will draw this one card, which I need, because I need to resolve, like, do I have time to resolve Demon Form next turn and stuff like that. Appeal to mill fallacy! So, yeah, I don't know. It's very funny to me. Okay. Let's go next. Okay, you're telling me to buy an apple from this brand because they're supposedly better quality since they cost more. But it's just an appeal to money. Expensive products aren't higher in quality. I'll buy one with a different brand instead to save money. Okay, so this might be the thing that I was talking about, which I think is really funny. This might be a fallacy. So all of the things that they said could actually be true and correct. And understanding that something is a fallacy, it, once again, does not prove or disprove their point. However, like, their initial statement, which is that this brand is more expensive, so therefore they are more, like, higher quality, might not necessarily be true. But then saying that that's a fallacy does not make what you're saying true. So we get all the way down and we go, like, you can't prove your point by saying that it's a fallacy. So this is fallacious. It's the fallacy! It's my favorite fallacy! Yippee! Shit's so funny to me. Because it basically, the fallacy takes all of the fallacy bros and goes like, you can't just point out a fallacy and say that you're right. Like, that's not how that works. Appeal to money is what streamers do. It's not a fallacy. What is the question mark for? The fallacy is the funniest thing ever. It's so funny. Isn't it funny? I think it's funny. Also, wait, I'm gonna check one more thing. Hold on a second. Sorry. I know that I'm being hyper obnoxious with my... Hello? Load? I know I'm being obnoxious with this. And it's being very finicky, and it is ruining the experience, presumably. Maybe I need to unplug this. What if I unplug it? Does that make it work better? Who knows? Wait, what the fuck? Really? Maybe I just need a new charging cable. It might be my charging cable. Okay. That's very interesting and good to know. If I'm playing roulette and the first 3 rounds have a ball land on red, I should bet on red because the mystical forces of chance have constantly allowed the ball to land on red. Exactly! That's just true! That's just true! Well, no, see, you're believing that there's a trend between landing on red. What the reality is that the cosmic mystical forces that allow me to manifest the ball landing on red means that I should put it on red. While a fallacious argument is fallacious, the act of simply pointing out that it is fallacious is no argument at all. Yeah, exactly. We didn't look at the definition. We should have, though, to see what they said. But yes, the thing is, you can both point out that something is fallacious and then go, you're like, well, that is a fallacy. And you go like, I think the reason that this brand is not more or is not higher quality is for these qualifiers. You can still point those out and lay out your argument or whatever. But then you can go, I just want to choose something else. I don't have enough reason to believe what you are saying. I'm just gonna choose something else. I'm not trying to prove to anybody anything. I just don't want to go with what you're going with. Right? This isn't about winning or losing points in an argument. It's just like, that sounds like bullshit. I'm gonna choose something else. Or do you like fallacy, so we put fallacy in your fallacy so you can have a fallacy while having a fallacy? Yeah, basically. Okay, check this out. It's labeled new recipe. But since I don't know what they changed, it's hard to say if it's better than before. Sorry, I thought the meme was going to be that it said recipe, not recipe. Is the idea here that this is just valid, right? Because they're like, I don't know if it's better or not. Like, it could also be like, just because it says that it is new. Like, there's another way you could word this, which is like, it's new, therefore it is better. Like, all things that are new does not necessarily mean that it's better. But this person is saying that I don't know if it's better or not. Which is probably fine. I think. Recipe is just how it's spelled. No, there's another IE there. I don't know. I guess there is. I thought there was, though. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is just valid. Yeah. Okay, you think people should stop drinking. You say you've stopped drinking for 2 years and 7 months? Oh wow, you're counting the days literally. Should we count seconds now too? This is also an ad hominem, right? So their claim is that people should stop drinking. And then they started talking about, like, this person's story about how they've stopped drinking. I mean, there's the other stuff of, like, what, should we start counting the seconds now too? But it's like, inherently it's attacking the person, not the... Yeah, it's like, essentially they're just being a dick. Yeah, this one might be an ad hominem. I think this one's an ad hominem. Yeah, so it's just another appeal to ridicule. It's like, you're stupid, like, you're a dumbass, so therefore... Whether I'm good looking or not, it's not impossible for me to find a partner. Yeah, I mean, this is true. This is just someone's, like, opinion. Nice. We got one wrong. What was the one we got wrong again? I don't remember. Oh, we got two wrong. Oh, one we didn't get wrong. One we got wrong because we weren't sure whether they... what's it called? We weren't sure what the context was about the whether you can do something in the future or not. You're just on like expert mode. You'll be asked to choose the name of the rhetorical fallacy from 4 options. If you have a hard time choosing which is which, you can take a look at the fallacy glossary or train by playing easy mode again. Okay. Check quiz questions. Yeah, I wanted to know which one I got wrong. What was the wrong one I got wrong? It was yeah, look, we've been doing it this way for 2 generations. Perhaps it's time to mix things up. Yeah, so I suppose, yeah, this one was like, they're just trying to state their opinion. They're not saying it should because. Usually it's when it's it should because. Ad hominem means to the person, and it's about attacking the speaker rather than the argument. Yeah, so it's like saying, well, anyone who actually uses the bonk emote is a troglodyte, so I shouldn't listen to anything that they have to say. Welcome, CG, by the way. Valid! Thank you for bonking me twice. And just because we've never done it doesn't mean it's impossible. Like this, again, we could have seen this as being fallacious depending on the context, but yeah, it does make sense that this would be valid. Let's go back. I kind of want to do another set of, because we haven't filled out the glossary, right? So maybe we can do easy mode a few more times. Like, how many are we missing? Oh, I want to read the fallacy as well. Index. Let's go to... Oh, it doesn't have the cool background music anymore. Fallacy. I want to see how they wrote it, because it's funny. It can be tempting to conclude that a claim is false because the reasoning leading to it contains a fallacy, or even to say there's a fallacy without saying which one, just because the claim seems false. When pointing out to someone that you're using a fallacy, you must clearly state which one and explain why you think this is the case. Keep in mind that the presence of a fallacy does not make a claim necessarily false. It just means that the reasoning is invalid. If you're accused of using a fallacy, ask for clarification which fallacy I used. Yeah, I think more than this, just for the record, I don't think it's important, because basically these people are saying, well, as long as you are accurately concluding which fallacy it is, then it's fine. But again, I don't necessarily agree with that, because they put here that it's like, okay, keep in mind that the presence of a fallacy does not make a claim necessarily false. Like, that's the actual important part. Because, like, with the thing with the apples, it's possible that, like, they do cost more, or they are just better in general. Like, that's just the case. They are just better. They happen to cost more. That could still be true. It's just the reasoning, the reason they came to that conclusion is incorrect or false. All right. Let's try easy mode again. In the context of an argument, you need to explain why they're wrong, not just assert that they are. Yeah, exactly. I've never put diced tomatoes in a guacamole before, but we can try. Now, this is just an opinion. It's just a suggestion, I should say, not just an opinion. Look, they have a full building with a lobby and a receptionist, like a big successful company. They must be a serious business. It sounds wrong. I hate tomatoes. Fallacious. This is like jumping to conclusions. But like, I don't know. The last bit is always some way to try and defend against a fallacy, which isn't really something you should be doing if you just used a fallacy. Only if accused when your reasoning was valid. Right, yeah, so if you're accused of a fallacy, then, like, ask them about it. This sounds fallacious to me. False equivalency. Yeah, this is different than jumping to conclusions. Those qualifiers aren't necessarily proof of being a big company or whatever. Yeah, yeah. I was like, it doesn't sound right. But what it was called, I had no idea. Person will point out a connection between two things, then claim the properties of one are also the properties of the other. Yeah, so you could say something like, big ass, white night girls wearing blue dresses are the epitome of beauty. That's not even a false equivalency. That's just true. That's just true. Thick thighs is just true. Your beautiful house has a pool. Mine also has a pool. So we have two beautiful houses. Yeah, so it's like when they say your beautiful house, like the entire house could be beautiful for several reasons, and then they point to the pool. And then the other person's house could be like a slop fest or be awful. And then they point to the pool and go like, well, we're the same though. All anime girls with thick thighs are beautiful. This is just a fact. Don't deny the connection if they are factual. Focus on the fact that from those connections, their conclusions do not fall. Yeah. No one has ever traveled through time, so I find it hard to believe it could be possible, but I can't conclude anything. This is true? Yes. I was wondering where they were going with it. Humans are mortal and I am a human, therefore I am mortal. Yes? I mean, this is true. It's valid because it is true. Beautiful people generally find partners easily. I'm quite beautiful, so it'll be easy for me. This one is probably just wrong, though. Right? It's not valid because it's true. Right, that's true. So it's like their conclusion doesn't have to be valid just because the fact is true. Yeah. Destroying the expectation. What is this? If this is a fallacy, then everything is a fallacy? Wait, what do you mean by that? Which one? The one about beauty and finding a partner easily? This one consists of taking a general rule or statistic and applying it systematically. You will often hear people say everyone instead of most people. Within an argument, this can lead to major errors, such as essentially sociologically statistics, for example, or essentializing. Yes, I was making a stupid joke. Okay. Providing counterexamples, exceptions will help you question the hasty generalization. Isn't hasty generalization a different one? But yeah, I think this one is funny because you could still say, like, you could say something along the lines of beautiful people generally have an easier time finding relationships. Point to some whatever statistic. And then go, people have said that I am beautiful. I'm hoping that means I will have an easier time. Like, I'm hoping that gives me an advantage. Right? Pointing out what, like, beauty is obviously still subjective. But if you could say, like, well, people have given me confidence that I am a beautiful person, you can still go, like, well, hopefully that does something for me. I'm not making it... Usually the problem with these, right, is that there is, like, a 100% assertion that it is, like, correct because. Right? Should because is something you can say about, like, math, assuming all of the things about math. Or, like, given an assumptive set of rules, assuming those are correct, then you can say should because. But generally, should because is not accurate. Should because, when it's your internalized opinion on the state of reality, definitely not good. That's how people get traumatized. Should because, in the sense of, like, making arguments, usually requires quite a lot of workings and dealings. So, should because could, for example, if I have like a design doc and then we have design pillars and I go like, should we consider not including like these characters in the game, or like should this character not do like have this particular action because one of our pillars is that we believe all the characters should be kind to one another. Like that's what we want to show in the story, is that his characters being kind to one another. And then I can go, should we do this because of this rule we have? Isn't that a suggestion? Yes, but I'm asserting that it should. Like I'm very, very certain that because of the rule that we made, that we should do this other thing. What should I be if not cuz? Yeah, so like you can make it as a suggestion or you can posture it as a question or something like that. But usually when you're like dead ass saying, no, definitely with 100% certainty, like usually you'll run into issues. Again, I'm saying usually. I'm not saying you'll always run into issues when you do that. It's just like, I guess what I see usually is that when people say things dead ass, like they run into problems, or a lot of these run into problems. Like I was gonna say bias generalization, but that actually doesn't follow. I don't know. We'll see if we find another one. But again, so the thing about like characters being kind to one another is like assuming that that is important to this scenario, whereas maybe it's the bad guy, and then like we actually want the bad guy to be like a little mean. And maybe we can walk it back a little bit, but we still want the like inherent like feeling of them to be mean. Congrats on being the #1 Fallacy Quiz streamer on Twitch. Fucking awful. I'm the only one there. So yeah, so there are reasons why we would not want to do that, like where we would want the character to actually be mean or whatever. But we can consider the logic that we've established. Yes, I'm the only one there. Alright. Hit me up. What do you mean it's too late to turn the music up? Basically, you're saying we should lower the volume. This is again jumping to a conclusion? That was valid? It's too late to... Well, they were saying it's too late. Maybe I misunderstood what I read. But it's too late to turn the music up. You're saying we should turn it down. Aren't they making a conclusion about whether they should turn it up or down? I'm gonna have to reread the question when we get to it. Michael died in a plane crash, but I've looked at the statistics and it's still a safe means of transportation. This is true. But, like, this could be valid. It's like just because one event happened to my uncle doesn't mean... Like, safe, the qualifier of safe is that, like, it's not... They don't crash all the time, basically. Okay. It's true, Kant did say that. The question is whether it is still valid today. Yes? This movie used way too many special effect scenes. Another movie that did the same thing got a bad review. That's why I think this one will get a bad review as well. Well, they're saying that it's bad because of the special effects. But, like, the special effects are bad in that movie, not necessarily... Like, the reason why the other movie could have gotten a bad review was not because of the special effects. Right? It's false equivalency. Yeah, pointing to the pool in the house. If you don't want any cake, okay, then I won't give you any. This is just valid, right? Valid because anything Kant said is wrong! Incredible. Okay, round 3. Okay, we've been doing it this way for 2 generations. We should keep doing it this way. So this one is fallacious. Yeah, this is appeal to tradition. That's what I was thinking. I was like, the inverse of appeal to tradition, I thought is still like kind of a problem. Raw materials increase in price, the product's price must also go up. A slice of cake that used to cost $2 is now $5. The cost of those raw materials must have skyrocketed. This is inverse correlation, right? Just because one thing went up doesn't mean the other thing, right? Affirming the consequence. Yeah, this is like, just because it goes one way doesn't mean that the other reason is what happened. We have a cause that is known to imply a consequence. I missed my bus, so I'm late. But if you don't pay attention, you can be made to believe that the cause happened just by mentioning the consequence, even though this isn't necessarily the case. If he misses the bus, then he's late. He is late here, therefore he missed the bus. Yeah. Like, he could have been late for any other reason. Just because they're late doesn't necessarily mean that he missed the bus. This is one of the possibilities, yes, but you cannot just deduce that. Asking, but are there any other explanations for this? Can help. Yeah, and the thing is, so this also happens a lot, I think, with people who, I don't know, people who are observant of other people's behavior, and then they start, like, making conclusions about, like, why, right? So, like, I am late to stream very frequently, which I want to stop doing, just for the record, because I used to not be late to stream, and then I was like, yeah, maybe I should chill out. I could be late to stream every once in a while. But I feel like I've been late too often recently. So you could say that, like, well, I'm late on the weekends because I sleep in. That happens frequently. I was late today. You could be like, well, maybe that's because Flower slept in. But the reason why I was late today was because I was making a thumbnail for this thing, and also debating whether I wanted to spend $20 on a 2-hour stream. But I think this shit is so funny to me. It's so funny. It's like, just because it applies in one place doesn't mean the reverse, and also doesn't mean it applies in other areas. Slept. Shut the fuck up. Missing the bus doesn't have to result in being late also. I think that's a different one, right? Because this is taking the logic and then reversing it, but there's another one that is like, it doesn't necessarily mean. I think that's supposed to be another one. I don't remember though. Alright. Give me the next one. There are no artificial ingredients in it, that's why it's so good. Shoot yourself now! Do it now! Appeal to nature, die now! You also said, oh, wait, hold on a second. They said there was a high chance of rain for today, so if you don't take your umbrella, you could end up wet. Yeah, this is just a conclusion. They also said leaded once instead of led. I English good. My English say very good. Just got out of the hairdresser and I think they did a really good job. I think I can ask them for... Wait, what? Oh, a really bad job. I think I can ask them for a refund. I mean, you could ask them. Personally, I only use unleaded. You can always ask for a refund if you think they didn't do a good job. But the thing is, like, I don't know what their stipulations were when you got your haircut. The thing is, it's like they cut the hair off, so you can't really, like, undo the work. So it's kind of hard to, like, get a refund for that. So I don't necessarily know what they're trying to say with this one, but I'm going to assume that this is valid. I don't know. Glue the hair back? Yeah, I guess the fact that you can't put the hair back kind of implies that, like, you can't really get a reasonable refund. Is there logic? Maybe it's fallacious. No, it was valid. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's like whether you think it is valid to ask for a refund for something that can't be, like, given back. Kind of like, that's sort of the thought. Alright. Let's try expert mode. I think I'm gonna do really bad at expert mode, because again, I'm not good at, like, actually naming what the things are. It's sort of like a vibe check thing. Because practically in real life, basically, so there's this entire thing called like fallacies and the study of logic and fallacies and whatever, right? But practically what this looks like in real life is you never say like, oh, well, that's a fallacy, right? You just jump to the suggestion part in the book, right? Where it's like, well, you can consider asking more about that. Like, those in and of themselves are like specific techniques that you would just use in general, right? So if someone was ever chatting shit, I would just be like, oh, can you explain like this part of it to me? That doesn't really make sense to me. So, forgot to check the money gone. Ah! Damn, you're so right. That's my bad. I'm very good at... I wish you could check the test answers or your history. It's usually pretty easy to pick the right one so long as you correctly spot that it's a fallacy. Yeah, let's try it out. You forgot to... So, yeah, I wish there was like a history thing and then you could go back or check a history of questions asked. I guess that would make it kind of easy and you'd start studying that rather than like playing the game. Yeah, practically it's more like you would never say, oh, that's a fallacy. Unless you're saying like, oh, that's like a really funny straw man. Like it's just funny to do that. Having these terms for things can be useful, but most people don't know them, so memorizing them and pointing them out is rarely going to be useful. Yeah, it's like for the sake of your own perception, it can be useful, but it's not useful for the sake of, as you're saying, pointing them out or talking about them. Let's try expert mode. All right, let's see if we can just do it. Check this out. It's labeled new recipe. It's nice that they improve their product. Appeal to novelty? Yeah, because this is new. Something is new, so therefore it is good. Look at the two cards of this chart. They're almost identical, so they must imply one another. Like correlation, causation. For sure. These two things are related with 100% certainty. Not necessarily. Most people get less sleep than what is recommended. I'm impressed that you are able to maintain a healthy sleep schedule. Yeah, this is just valid. It's going like, oh wow, that's kind of cool that you have like good sleep habits. Deep down, people are selfish, so this charity-based project on donations and volunteering won't work. This is like a fallacy of division? Appeal to motive. Yeah, I thought it was like, they're bad people. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know what appeal to motive is. Oh, well, it's implying how people are motivated to do something. They're like, nah, they're all bad people, so they would never be on board with this. Working out, only with your body weight is better than working out. Oh, this appeal to nature. Round 2. People who think we should sort out trash have good arguments on the subject. I can give you some if you want. This is just valid. I guess you could also go if it's none of the three, then you could say that it's valid. I'm not going to listen to what you say about the environment knowing that you work at a multinational nuclear power company. Genetic? Yeah, it's saying that, like, because you're part of this thing, that you're not the other thing. Lars doing this to justify spanking chat with logical fallacies, no other reason. Yeah, absolutely. That is 100% the reason I'm doing this. I'm surprised that you were able to see my motives so clearly. There's unemployment in the youth because young people just don't want to work. This is, appeal to motive, I guess? What is perfect solution fallacy? That sounds cool. I understand half the words in the answers. The NGO does really useful work for society. The director must be a good person. This is appeal to motive, right? No, appeal to motive is like, how does the... I'm cheating also. Appeal to motive is like when you believe that the person is doing something for a reason. This is doing it the other way around, right? I'll say that's a fallacy with no other qualifiers and be blasted into the sun. Don't worry, Poi was always going to get blasted into the sun for simply existing in my chat. I actually don't know. It's like jumping to conclusions, but so maybe it's this one? Correlation causation? Fallacy of division. I'm actually curious. Why is this division? Consistent claiming that a part of something possesses a property just because the whole thing does. Yeah, and then this is different from... I thought this was a different fallacy, just for the record. I thought this was when you try to make two separate groups on purpose. I don't remember what that one's called. Where you basically it's like other. It's not like otherism. It's like when you choose to explicitly make a false dichotomy, I guess. When you, yeah, I don't know. There's like another word for it, but the metal airplane flies so metal can fly. Yeah, some properties do not depend on the individual parts. Your interlocutor must demonstrate that a property of a whole remains valid for one of its parts. They cannot just assert it. It's the opposite of the fallacy of composition. It's the fallacy of composition. Wish I had that one. Alright, next. You don't want any cake? Everybody loves cake, though. Field of popular belief. I don't know what it says. Everybody loves cake. All people like VTubers, therefore you should like VTubers. Being told that the majority opinion goes against yours. Yeah, this shit's annoying as fuck. It is very giga annoying. This is an attempt to exploit our bias towards the majority and to make you feel pressured into abandoning your position. Yeah, it's like... Again, the problem with this is that it's like... interlocutor, not interlocutor. What about interrupter? Interrupter? Interloper? Most people thought the Earth was flat. Would you have defended that then? Yeah. Everyone commits tax evasion, so do it too. Oh man. Yeah. So once again, I think that another funny aspect of these, right? Or a funny aspect of like a fallacy in general is that there can be some amount of value in the principle that this represents, which is like, let's say someone is paranoid to go outside, right? The reality is that they don't want to go outside due to anxiety or whatever. But you could say like, well, maybe some people like going outside for these reasons. There are a lot of people who like going outside just to walk around, have some sun. You know, is that something you'd be interested in doing? Like, there's a way of doing this that's more of a suggestion, but when you say that it's like, you should like going outside because other people like going outside, you're asserting that just because more people like it, it's pointing out the fact that a lot of people like doing something or have a popular belief, and understanding what the reason is and making that apparent to people isn't necessarily a problem. But asserting that you should have that based on feeling that everybody should share the same opinion is kind of the issue. But if everyone does it, that means you also do it. Yeah, exactly. With 100% certainty, generalized blanket statements all the way. Let's go. All right. What's next? We on 5 of 5 or round 3? We're round 3. Okay. Me not voting in this election is equivalent to letting all the others decide in my place. What is this? Spotlight fallacy? I don't know. Is this? It's assuming you're important. No, it's just valid. Yeah, I was like, is that... me trying to choose the fallacy that sounds like it makes sense, even though I don't understand what the question is? Yeah, respond to my messages. Why are you upset? Jumping to conclusions, right? I was like, you are actually just letting other people decide in your place. Like, that is just true. Rats are mortal and I am mortal, therefore I'm a rat. What is this? False equivalency? Yeah. What is dilemma again? I'm curious about that one. Can I go to the index? I want to go to the false dilemma one. Index. Like, why was it different when it's a dilemma? Dill is a lady who likes pickles. Fucking goddamn it. We're all rats? We are all rats. Several possibilities. Yeah, dilemma is when they give you two options when there's more options. Okay. And false, the one we just did, was false equivalencies, comparing two things that are not the same. You prefer bananas, I prefer carrots. We can each have our own preferences, and that is okay. This is a middle ground fallacy. No one is allowed to have opinions. What is your favorite food, pancakes or waffles? Yeah, exactly. It's like, what about pizza? You won't give this cute family-run restaurant a single star. Even if you really hated it, you could give them a better rating. Appeal to pity? I guess? It's like, you give them a thing. Give them some pity. It's like, you can still ask them to give a star out of pity. However, that doesn't mean they should. What were the ones that I got wrong? Yeah, this one was because I didn't know what the thing was. Like, just what fallacy of division was. This one was, again, not knowing what fallacy of division was. And then this one was valid, but I just assumed that maybe the spotlight fallacy seems like it sounded like it would make sense. So I went with it. All right. How many more do we have? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh my god, we have a lot. There's a bunch still. That's jumping to conclusions? Which one? The I got this wrong because of the other one? Or I assumed that there was a valid fallacy there because it sounded wrong? Yeah. Alright. Back into the grinder. When tossing a coin, it's more likely to have 4 heads than a tail than to have 5 heads in a row. This is just true, right? No. Hold on a second. Yeah, sorry. It is equally likely for all of them to... Yeah, independent outcomes. I don't have a good one for that. I was just like, this is just true. Gambler's fallacy is just true in all situations. Get Monte Carlo. You've already lost 5 times in a row. Well, this one is just true. This is also valid with 100% certainty. Probability questions be like... Sorry, this one's also gambler's fallacy, right? In court after an airplane crash due to a technical malfunction. Here are the facts. The suspect was the one flying the plane, and 50 people died in the crash. Wait, what? I just don't understand what I'm reading. There was a technical malfunction. The facts were that the suspect was driving the plane. Well, yeah, there could have been a technical malfunction even though the suspect was driving the plane, right? I don't know what it would call. What is it? Cherry picking. Okay. The italics is a scenario label. Yeah. You've read a lot of books, but that doesn't necessarily mean what you say is correct. What? I don't know why my brain is just like not lie. I want the definition for lie. Is this valid? I don't think we should let 16-year-olds vote. Soon they'll be asking to allow 12-year-olds vote. This is a slippery slope. I climbed to the top of the mountain all by myself. You can do it too. It's great. The guides were really nice to me. Wait, what? Is this just a lie or a red herring? The guides? Okay, I want to see what the definition... Like, this is just... They're just not telling the truth. And by the way, if someone voluntarily decides to not share a piece of information with you, that could have an impact on the course of things. That is also a lie, even if they haven't said anything explicitly false. That's called a lie by omission. Wait. Voluntarily decides not to share a piece of information. What's red herring? Yeah, red herring in the context of a fallacy, I don't actually know. But a red herring is like... herrings that are red. Oh my god. My chat is insufferable. It's like trying to point to something that ends up not being relevant at all. So within the context of a fallacy, I don't know what that looks like. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what that would look like. Again, it's hard to like formulate things on the spot. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it comes up because they'll probably have a good one. Yeah, I mean, how do you say that this is just a lie? It's just that people should opt for trains over planes due to ecological concerns. Maybe it's just because you're afraid to get on a plane. Appeal to motive, right? They're assuming what the person's motive is. Like, they're assuming they're saying this because they're scared. Yeah. They might not necessarily be scared. This person never worked with their hands in their life, so I'm not sure why we should listen to them about how we can improve our working conditions. So this is just like, yeah. It's just saying that the person making the claim is bad. Do they not have explicitly ad hominem in here? Me not voting in this election is equivalent to not taking part in a competition. As such, I cannot be held accountable for the results. What the fuck? This is just valid, right? Is this false equivalency? Guess so? They're not the same, yeah. Being in a competition is not the same as voting. There we go. Get the first 3 results of my search confirm that I am correct about this. False dilemma? You could look more than the first 3. Oh, it could be cherry picking, actually. Because they only want you to look at the first 3 instead of everything. Yeah. It was a lie because they said they climbed it by themselves, but then they said the guides were nice. Oh, right. Want to know if the car is old? Well, actually, the transmission has just been changed. So this is a red herring. Because the transmission has nothing to do with the car being old or not. What is a fallacy? I will pause to explain what the fallacy is. So just because someone points out something is a fallacy doesn't mean that the claim itself isn't valid. So I could say something like, so this table that I have is made out of wood. But I could make a fallacious statement about why it's made out of wood. That doesn't mean that, like, the table isn't made out of wood. The actual reality is that the table is made out of wood. Why I'm telling you the table is made out of wood could be a fallacious statement. So saying, well, that's a fallacious statement, so therefore the table isn't made out of wood, like, isn't necessarily true. Yeah, it's my favorite one because, like, the thing that normally happens, and again, so I've kind of explained this before, sort of. Maybe I'm still there and, like, I haven't progressed as a person at all, but, like, I used to really be a lot more, like, the logic, facts and logic bro, like, look at how right I am, like, huge ego. Maybe my ego is still very big, who knows. But the thing is, at that point in my life, if I learned about fallacies, I would gather that maybe that you'd kind of go hog wild with it and be like, actually, that's a fallacy, like, adjusts glasses. You know what I mean? You seem too dumb to have ever had an ego. That is fucked up, man. That's not very nice. Stop the yapping and smash me instead. Hey, Cesar, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the 26 months. Can't really imagine you like that with your voice for some reason. What, as the, like, as the fallacy logic bro? The facts and logic bro? I don't know, I used to care a lot more. Like, I don't know. I feel like I look at it and I judge myself, but I don't think, like, that harshly. It's just kind of accurate. Just, like, really annoying. So, the point is, the fallacy is, like, the Ouroboros eats itself, right? The concept of logic eats itself. Where you basically go, like, fallacies are great. This as a concept is good. It is good to be aware of these. But at the end of the day, you don't actually need to know any of these. The principles are there. Like, good to know what they are. Good to have logic for them. Good to have awareness of them. But at the end of the day, if someone says some stupid bullshit, like, it's still gonna be answered in the same way. Which is, like, questioning the premise, pointing out what you think is incorrect about their conclusions and stuff like that. All of that is, like, a separate skill that isn't pointing out what a fallacy is. They're not useful in day-to-day life, therefore you should not learn them. Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly this. Why are you ignoring me? I said, Cesar, thank you for the 26 months. Also, with the how you've been? Well, I was in the middle of explaining the fallacy quiz. That's what we're doing right now. I'm actually still sick. My throat is actually still a little strained. They said that it's probably just some viral thing, by the way, that will go away eventually. I'm hoping that is true. But it was a doctor who said it, so therefore, because it was my doctor, they're 100% correct, because every doctor is 100% correct. Alright. You're complaining when we leave the trash out because it attracts rats, but tell me, isn't your daughter the one who has a pet rat? What the fuck does that even mean? It's like, these things. Like, there are people who say these things and they, like, actually believe it. It's so funny to me, dude. Appeal to authority is what I like to do in the bedroom with my tongue. That's crazy. That is a wild thing to say, dude. When will you accept my invitation for lewd handholding? Maybe one of these days. I'll have to do, like, a Valentine's stream. Yeah, sorry I wasn't here on Valentine's Day, by the way. I was too busy fucking my significant other. Who's very real. Extremely real. Does exist. Is there 100%. Yeah, we'll just do a hand-holding stream. That's all we'll do. Goolets! I don't even know what this... Is this a generalization? Like... about rats? Or is it a red herring? Because it has nothing to do with the thing about rats. Yeah. It's like that literally has nothing to do with what you were saying. I think he threw away my banana, but I can't really prove it, so I guess I can't really accuse them of it. I mean, I guess so. Makes sense. More people prefer apples to oranges, so apples are better than oranges. Popular belief. Appeal to spite sounds kinda sexy. Those glasses were offered for an extra $1 on top of your other glasses, but you must be really bad quality, don't put them on. This is... Is it this? Appeal to money, I guess? Popular belief and also wrong. And also wrong. Okay, we don't have to look at the results. We're not gonna check the answers I got wrong because we're not gonna worry about it. We're just not gonna... Don't worry about it. The answer I got wrong wasn't even important. It's not a big deal. I'm actually... What was the second one I got wrong? I got nothing for this one. I got nothing for this one. There's nothing I got for that one. Oh, it was cherry picking. I just didn't understand this question. In court after an airplane crash due to a technical malfunction. Okay, yeah, so this is what happened, and then they say here are the facts. Which is cherry picking. That makes sense. Your brain was too big to understand mere common sense of humanity. Yeah, of course. I love how I was like, no, Gambler's Fallacy is funny because it's actually true in card games. And then immediately got roasted by the Gambler's Fallacy. Alright, we gotta get... Let's see if we can get... You know, get a perfect quiz. That's what we're aiming for. Yes, your father was, hard... Stop. 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 Brain stop. That is not... We're stopping. We're ceasing that line of thought. Not a good line. Very bad. Hard on you when you were young, but he is old now. You cannot criticize him. Pity? You're pitting the old man? Or not? That's really not good, man. Didn't steal that. If that were the case, he would be a thief, but he's a good person. Is this a straw man? Appeal to consequences. I don't know this one. The card game situation you described wasn't relevant to the Gambler's Fallacy. No, it's like, isn't the Gambler's Fallacy assuming... This is why it's relevant. Assuming that, like, individual events will result in future events being affected by the past events. Right? So when people go like, well, if I flip 3 heads, then I'm bound to flip tails now. But the events aren't random. Card draws do influence future draws. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, like, the belief behind the Gambler's Fallacy does actually apply to card games because card draws do influence future draws. That's why I'm saying it's funny, because, like, the belief behind Gambler's Fallacy does actually apply to... Yeah. Thing with the Gambler's Fallacy is that it only counts when talking about independent events, which isn't the case for card games. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're all on the same page. I'm just saying that it's funny that that is the case. And also that, like, very frequently... Like, the Gambler's Fallacy is something that is, like, very frequently designed for, because it's just, like, a thing we believe. So, like, pity in gacha games exists because we believe that that's what's fair. Right? It's like, well, I already gambled 100 times. I was supposed to get the 1%. So they made pity systems because we just believe that that's fair. What's another one? Pity systems for, like, quest drops. So if you have to grind something in an MMO and it's basically like, you know what? After they kill 10, just give them a monster drop. Humans are really bad at simulating probability. Yes. Not really the same thing either, but whatever. which one? I don't remember the thing that I just said. Oh yeah, pity. It's like, we believe that we deserve something when events are random. Theoretically, if you roll on a gacha with a 1% chance, every single roll should not be influenced. Every single roll is a 1% chance to get the thing every single time. Even if you roll 100,000. Wasn't referring to what you were saying. Okay, yeah. That's an appeal to pity. Yeah, well, the reason why you would put a pity system in the first place, you could say it's like, well, don't you pity them for gambling 100 times? What's another one? Yeah, monster drops requests. You know what's really funny, though, is that when you tell people that it's there and it's a thing that they can turn on or off, you have people in, like, Baldur's Gate who don't like the magic dice rolls. The ones that are like, you can accrue pity if you constantly fail dice rolls. And then, like, just roll a 20 out of nowhere, like they give it to you. But I think people like it when it's true random, usually. Everyone wants to have the average and never complain when they get lucky, but when they get unlucky, it becomes the end of the world. Yeah, basically. Well, because, like, there's some degree of narcissism, right? Because in order to believe that you're the hot shit and you deserve better, that, like, propels you forward to do more. Right? Where you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna, like, take the luck when it comes and then ride the wave. But when you're unlucky, you're like, well, I want it better. It's like a self-propelling machine. Or you could just be like, yeah, man, I'm on the internet and I'm unpopular. It's fine. Me complaining until the end of time. So that was... Oh, wait, I didn't actually read Appeal to Consequence. Hold on a second. Your interlocutor believes in something. They will choose their position so that none of the consequences of these would contradict what they believe in. I believe that the Earth is flat. If these images were real, it would mean that the Earth is round, so these images must be fake. This is complicated, and I don't know if I understand. In this case, you should ignore this argument and ask for some real basis to support their claims. They persist, they probably aren't ready for the question, to question their unfounded beliefs. Yeah, so this was like, my friend would be a thief. I'm just like, I knew that that was wrong. It's just like hard to piece it together. I believe, so they believe that their friend is not a thief. So if your claim was real, that would make him a thief. So therefore your claim is fake. My overall luck is under 50%, then that's unlikely to happen. It shouldn't have happened, the game is rigged. Yeah, exactly. Which is funny, because, like, once again, your overall luck could just be under 50%, which is hilarious. Like, it's just funny. You know what I mean? That's why the thing with the flipping heads. Like, let's say the desired outcome was heads, and you flipped 5 tails. Well, based on comparing your luck to what you wanted, you were very unlucky. But in reality, that was just 50-50 every time. If it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate. It's good. Alright. So I did not know what Appeal to Consequence was. You handed in your homework, but your no work is in terrible condition. I won't waste my time looking at each page, you'll get a bad grade. So this is, what is it? This is division, right? Because it's saying, like, one part of this is bad, so all of it is bad. Isn't there a different, PTSD? Man, one time, my fucking, now that I think about it, yeah, I guess, like, this is what my art teacher did. Was they basically said, well, this is an example of their artwork, so therefore they didn't make this other artwork. Because we were given big sketchbooks because, like, my teacher in elementary school was, like, an art teacher in post-secondary or whatever, but she also taught elementary school. So she gave us big sketchbooks that I would draw anime girls in because I've been drawing anime girls for a very long time. Because we were told we're allowed to draw whatever we want in the sketchbooks. We had to make a self-portrait, which I had another art teacher, so I got assisted in making a self-portrait because I was not feeling very confident. I did the entire self-portrait myself, but I was assisted in, like, guiding how to do the process of it by this other teacher. Handed it in, and they were basically like, you did not make this because look at all these anime girls you drew. And it's just like, these are not related. I can still make a self-portrait that looks like this and not have it to do anything with my sketchbook. Annoying. Terrible. What an awful time. I'll probably remember that for the rest of my life. He was a fucking asshole. I think this is division. Is that correct? Yeah. One thing is bad, therefore all thing bad. In this thing. Clearly you used AI to make it. Yes. It's probably the least bad, but electing this candidate won't put an end to all suffering in the country. Thus, I'm not sure if I'll vote for that. This is perfect solution. If it's not perfect, then why am I doing it? Assuming artists can only draw in a single style. Yeah, basically. You have bad grades in physics. Maybe you should work more on this subject. This is just valid. It's just a suggestion. Alright. I was munching on some roasted salted almonds, and then I popped, I thought this had pooped, one into my mouth that had this weird, horrible, bitter taste that made me want to spit it out. It was gross. That's why almonds are the worst nut. Yeah, so, is it one of these? Feel vividness? Yeah, so look, they're like outlining how gross it was to say that it's the worst. A rare case in great detail can be misleading. Yeah, that makes sense. Artists do have a specific style they draw in, right? Well, but that doesn't mean I can't do other forms of art. Like, I have done, like, regular painting, like, I don't remember what it's called. What is normal? Acrylic. Like, I've done acrylic painting, I've done watercolor, I've done, like, charcoal self-portraits, so, like, realism. But the art that I normally draw is anime art. So they're saying, like, well, you only draw anime art. You could not have produced this good self-portrait. Which was really lame. But yeah, you want to know what's kind of funny about this? You could say that, like, misleading vividness is kind of like explaining the worst VTuber fan. And going like, well, the worst of the worst VTuber fans are, like, so gross and awful and terrible. They probably smell bad and don't shower. Jazz musicians can only play jazz. It's really sad, actually. That's not true. I know contemporary musicians that play pop and jazz. Listen, all you have to do is not use two of your fingers. I mean, I'm thinking of that's not true. It's not sad. It's funny. No, you don't? What do you mean, no, you don't? You saying I'm just lying? Yeah, you wanna know what's funny about that, by the way, is that it's like, how do you make a jazz musician play contemporary? Like, okay, I need you to not play any of the 7 extensions that you wanted to play. No, but like, if I But if I play the extensions, it adds to the soul of the chord, man. You gotta play the extensions so that it just makes it sound good. It's like me just trying to play normal ass fucking harmonies. Like, no, stop. Stop it. We're not playing jazz. You just should not. Don't add the spicy notes. I don't care about your. Well, I was gonna say diminished seventh. That's not. You can tell I'm classically trained. Like, what would they call it in jazz? What do they call a fully diminished chord in jazz? They call it like a spicy 5. Do you play instruments? I used to study piano. I was classically trained in piano so that I could play anime covers. That didn't go anywhere because I taught people. I have a few years in music education, privately teaching piano. My, most of what I taught, which I still believe to, like, nowadays. The important part about learning an instrument or learning any skills is how you interface with learning the skill. So it was a very big proponent for, like, if you're messing up a passage of music, how are you going to improve it? Because a lot of people will avoid their mistakes, right? So let's say there's a section where you, like, drop tempo, and then we basically go like, okay, well, why are we dropping tempo here? Like, what is happening here? Are we even aware that we're dropping tempo here? How do we fix that? I was a big proponent for that, is like knowing the metacognition of how to fix your own mistakes and learn when you're playing your instrument is like the most important skill that no one ever taught me. And that pissed me off because I was one of those, like, naturally gifted kids who kind of, like, self-corrected a lot for how to, like, learn my instrument. But as soon as things became difficult, I had no fucking idea what to do. Which was a huge problem for me because I went to, like, college for, like, performing. And then I just, like, didn't know how to improve. Everything was just too difficult for me. I had no idea what the fuck to do. On top of that, I had crippling back problems, like, literally. I could only practice for half an hour a day before, like, my back just, like, didn't work. It is, like, significantly better now, for the record. I like, fixed all my posture problems. But, yeah, it was literally, it's so, I mean, it's funny to look at it now, but the reason I had back problems was literally because I was just, like, a degenerate gamer. Dude, my posture playing League of Legends was not good. It was so bad. That's a problem for people studying in school too, I think. Yeah, it's easier for me to understand the mechanism of improvement for, like, instruments and stuff. I think it is harder for something like theory. I still don't really, like, necessarily know the techniques of how to study. I know some, but, you know. You do care about your diminished chest. That must have been made clear, or much has been made clear. Band. I forgot all my theory names, it's been too long. Yeah, they'll just say, like, oh yeah, it's like a C flat 3 5 7. Like, you mean a diminished chord? No. It's like a C flat 3 5 7. Raised 9. Cause fuck you. The numbers is what we use. Well, yeah, because the practical way to read music, like, it's a lot easier to read a thing that tells you all the information than to know what a diminished chord is. It's actually interesting to me, though, because it kind of goes to, like, the kanji argument, where you go, like, a kanji is good for, if you just know what the kanji is, then it's really good at communicating what it is, because you just fucking know what it is. You don't need more information. It's just there. The numbers were faster to say than stupid long names. I mean, I don't know. What's the difference between saying, oh, it's like, saying something is a diminished chord is faster than saying that it's like a C3 5 flat 7 diminished 9. You don't have to say every single extension. It's like, no, it's a C diminished. Just play it. If you just know what it is, then you can just play it. Which, I think at the end of the day, once you've shortcutted past knowing what... Like, you'll look at a C7 with a circle and be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And you'll just play it. You're already shortcutting past what the names are anyways. But I think for practicality, if you are learning a piece of music, like you're not sight reading it, like reading every single extension can be considered slow. More atypical chords makes remembering all the names less useful. Yeah, if you're just playing like... It's like you can't have qualifiers for all of the crazy extensions that you'd be using. Which, to be fair, I don't think like classical does that either. Even when you get into like ridiculous extensions. Is everyone in chat musicians? No, I think Unicorn is legitimately a jazz musician. I don't remember if you told me what instrument you played though. If you have a diminished chest, then you can have a Phrygian chest or... Awful. Okay, so this was misleading vividness. We've gotten quite a few wrong this time. We often make a big fuss about boat pollution, but sailboats, for example, don't consume any fuel at all. Can't get any greener than that, so let's stop criticizing boats unnecessarily. Is this a cherry picking? Right? It's like, this example is not indicative. Yeah. Companies frequently make profits, therefore the purpose of a company is to make profits. This is a... What is this? It's one of these. Is it this or this? Maybe it's this. No. It's this one. I don't think I understand this one very well. Much like knowing the names is hard. Yeah, so it's like companies make profits, therefore they only make profits, but there could be another reason for going backwards. Trying to prove the reverse by asserting one half of it forward. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not going to understand this one forever. It's like, I know what it is, I just can't really explain it. Child stole from an elderly lady. Only fair, they're cutting off her mom's welfare. What does this mean? Two wrongs make a right? This bad behavior justifies the bad behavior back. People love two wrongs make a right, by the way. People love that shit. People love that shit so much. They're like, well, I mean, they were kind... It's like in Am I the Asshole posts, they'll always be like, well, this person basically, like, committed war crimes, so therefore it's okay that I, like, stole $50 from them. And it's like, no! That's not how this works! Two wrongs do not make a right. Stop playing has been there since the road was built. We've never seen how many people would drive without it. What? Could be that traffic would be smoother and there wouldn't be more accidents. Let's say suggest we move it. It could be possible. I think that's what they're suggesting. This one's really long and I don't know if I understand it. Yeah, appeal to ignorance. So this is truth or falsehood of something isn't known. They need to accept their opinion on the matter. As long as we don't know, we can't present any arguments. Their position would be taking advantage of... Yeah, so they're basically saying, since we don't know, why don't we try it? Which could be true, but they can't say it with, like, certainty. I don't know. That one was really long and hard to understand in general. It was annoying. They kind of deserved it. Terrible. Oh my god! Because of the garbage collector strikes, there are more and more rats on the streets. One day after school, one of them entered the backpack of an 8-year-old girl, and once at home, the rat jumped out and attacked her. This is just this one. Bro, like, stop going on a fucking 7-year-long essay to tell me about this shit. Just look at who follows this guy on their social media. This is fucking so good. It's so good, dude. So funny. This shit's so funny. Yeah, you Twitter freaks. You freakazoids. Stop fucking looking at dude, people are following. Oh, man. I already know this one's gonna be good. Just from that, I know no one should talk to them. Guilt by association. He is actually a fallacy, in case you didn't know that. Did you know that? You are allowed to make judgments and conclusions. However, that does not necessarily mean that they are true. And also that it is guilt by association. So funny. So funny to me. By reading Kant's books, I might learn some stuff. Like, you could. It's false? I don't know, man. First of all, I don't know. Yeah. You might learn something. Hold on a second. Which one is Kant again? What was he known for? Yeah, this is philosophy. But what was his, like, thing? What was his main philosophy? Human understanding is the source of the general laws of nature. What the fuck? Duty ethics, I see. All about tilting his hand? Yeah, no, I swear I know what this is supposed to be. And duty ethics. Moral philosophy. I literally read about this shit, I just don't remember it. Some things should never be done, no matter what good consequences they produce. Is that what it is? You had a philosophy class? I've taken philosophy like twice. I was sleeping during philosophy class. Unfortunately. I don't know. I think philosophy is interesting sometimes. Okay. Let's try, Also, wait, I didn't hit... Hold on a second. I liked philosophy class, got laid too. Damn! Well, clearly that means you should go to philosophy class if you want to get laid, right? Oh, one of them that I took was, like, kind of lame, but the other one was alright. You're saying people can be smart without having gone to school. So basically you're saying that people will always succeed even without going for school. Is this a straw man? Straw man, right? What's your definition of this? So basically you're saying, which again, funny, you can say so basically you're saying and actually try to summarize what the person is saying, but it's so funny to me. Like, it's just, I don't know. Am I the only person who finds this shit hilarious? It's so funny. It's just so funny. Like, people take these people seriously, man. It's so funny. We'll respond to a twisted version of your argument that you never said. Yeah, so it's like, so basically you're saying, the thing is, you can say, so basically you're saying, and then actually reiterate what they were saying. Or like, just because somebody reiterates what you're saying, not exactly in the way that you said it, does not mean, like, how do I say this? Being able to transmute information into another viable example actually shows that you understand what the person was saying. And that's important for communicating. So, like, when someone says, you're saying people can succeed without going to school. I would say, like, yeah, so basically you're saying, you know, I can still have good outcomes even though I don't have the theoretical knowledge from going to school. That's not exactly what they said, but I'm saying, like, I'm restating their conclusion slightly differently. So that can be valuable. But when someone says, so basically you're saying, and then they go completely off the deep end, then they're strawmanning you. You prefer apples. I prefer apples or oranges. I prefer apples. Oh, so you hate oranges, cringe. Yeah, exactly. The only thing I remember from philosophy class, which I only did in high school, is going through multiple forms of the trolley problem, and my answer being like, that's exactly the same to me, to a lot of them. Like, they do push a man onto the tracks to stop the trolley version, which I saw and still see as identical to the standard trolley problem. Yeah, there's kind of like... I guess the conceit is like, if you have a certain set of morals or beliefs, then you're like, so for example, it's always better to, what's it called? It's always better to save more people. You go like, well, if you have to push the man onto the tracks, does that, like, this is the way that I would see it, is that, like, yes, I would feel bad for pushing the man onto the tracks. I don't personally want to have to push a man onto the tracks. And I understand what the, like, pragmatic consequences are of me being a human who has to push another human onto the tracks. But if we are ascribing to the logical lens that saving more people is better, then I will push a man onto the tracks. Again, the conceit is like, well, what do you believe? That's the important part. It's not a matter of like whether people draw the line here or whether people draw the line there. It's that, like, what is your line personally? So, like, if we ascribe to the logical lens that we should always save more people, then, like, push the man onto the tracks. Do I believe that I am responsible when I don't make a decision? No. So I personally would not push a man onto the tracks. I wouldn't, because I don't want to be personally responsible. Letting something happen is not being personally responsible in my purview. But if we're saying that the correct choice to be made is to save the most amount of people, then I would push someone onto the track. That makes sense. Would you rather is more intellectually stimulating than the trolley problem? Can we tie Flower up? Not to push onto the trolley tracks or anything, just for fun. You are allowed to commission whatever art you want to be. Doesn't trolleys have security systems so that they can't run over people and they stop instead? Oh man. Jesus. But yeah, it's like the actual answer to the trolley problem, I think, is not as important as like the reasons why, right? As goes the entirety of philosophy. While turning down their plate of spinach, eating more fruit and vegetables won't make us immortal anyways. Is a perfect solution. Can trolleys even stop that fast? I don't know. How fast do they even go? I don't know, man. Stop asking me questions about trolleys that I can't answer. Well, we got 4 wrong that time. I think these were actually because I didn't understand, though, what the things were, what the answers were. What were they again? Yeah, this is appeal to consequences. So the appeal to consequences was when it's like, I believe a particular thing, therefore your thing, my beliefs are such, therefore your thing is wrong. This was misleading vividness, which I didn't know what it was. This one I just didn't understand. But it was like, because we don't know, I think we should remove it. This one is, companies frequently make profits. Therefore, the purpose of a company is to make profits. Yeah, so... yeah, this is, again, is the, like, you're late for the bus. Therefore, because this person is late, they missed the bus. It's a little different, but yeah, they're making an extrapolation that is not exactly true. It's probably just this. Trolleys move at 8 million miles an hour and have no brakes. That's just true. That's just true. We still have to get it perfect. Should do custom difficulty and max all the sliders. I will do that if I can correctly do this. It was Kant himself who said that this is an appeal to authority. I wanted to mention, by the way, appeal to authority is really funny because my favorite one is when they do appeal to someone else's authority, because that's what people do all the time with like content creators. So it's kind of like there's, but a doctor is saying it, and then there's like, oh god, what is the, no, I can make this example, I swear. It's when they go like, so I do game design, technically. Guys, technically, actually, technically, I'm a game designer. And then you go like, yeah, well, this one guy I know who's a game designer had an opinion, so therefore it is correct. It's like, oh, that's what it is. So appeal, if you have the authority, you can appeal to authority using yourself as the center. So I can say, I am a game designer, therefore my opinion is correct. That is an appeal to authority as like an authority figure in game design. My favorite part of this is that it has to do with ego. Which is that like, well, you should just believe me because I'm an authority figure in game design. That's just how it is, man. Like, why don't you believe me? So first of all, I think you should, with some degree of belief, go like, well, this person maybe knows what they're talking about. Hear what they have to say. But someone who has the authority in a space for a particular thing shouldn't need to defend their reason using their authority. So certainly you can go like, yeah, I'm a game designer, this is what I think, but then go like, no, but like this is the principle and I think this is how it should work. That's kind of my opinion, professional opinion, whatever on it. So anyone who has authority in a particular thing shouldn't need to use their authority as a way to justify what they are saying. And then the funny part of that is whenever you use someone else's authority to try and justify something, because again, that just proves you don't fucking know what you're talking about. Like, if you understood the principle, you could say, well, this person said this thing, and their reasons were this, 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 and this. Whether that's correct or not is a different question. But if you just go, this other person said this thing, and they're right because they're a game designer, it's just like, that's just funny. It's so funny to me, man. Because people do this shit all the time. It's so funny. I'm a dominatrix, so you should lick my boots. Flawless argument. Get to it. Hey, Kichi, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We are playing the Fallacy Quiz, also known as the Fallacious Quiz, also known as the I Will Not Fallate You Quiz. We're trying to get a 15 out of 15, but I'm bad at this game. So this was the one before, right? This was... Wait. You've never seen... it might be worth conducting some tests to understand... Oh, so this is valid. I keep forgetting, they have different versions of the question that are valid or not valid, so I should not be making any assumptions. Fortunately, you have read plenty of books on the matter, so I'm sure someone as knowledgeable as you are will be able to change their mind on that subject. Flattery? Seems, yeah, it's like, you're so smart, so you should come to my opinion. Most people get less sleep than what's recommended. You should stay a bit longer with... wait, what is this? Common... What would this be? Wishful... I don't know what this is called. What is common practice? Wouldn't this be most other people? Wasn't that a popular belief? The person is appealing to something that most people do to convince you to do the same. Oh, right, so it's not their opinion. It's not necessarily that everyone believes that you should get less sleep. It's that most people don't get much. Yes, okay, that makes sense. Understandable. Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes people don't want to be on board with the thing you want to do, huh? Happens. Survey conducted among our viewers shows that the Americans agree with the conclusions of our documentary. This is a generalization. What the fuck is that example? Wait, what example? Was the one that... Wait. Which example? Used to be normal to own slaves. 0 to 100. Wait, was that what was in the example? I didn't even read it. That's crazy. You're saying we should check everybody's backpack when leaving the store, so basically you think everyone is a thief. Is it jumping to conclusions? Or is this a straw man? It was a straw man. What is the difference between... So, what is, like, the difference between a straw man and jumping to conclusions in this case? Twisted version of the argument. For common practice. I didn't read it. Let's go back. I'm curious. Everyone jumped off a bridge with you is also pretty extreme, but that one is used a lot. Okay, where is the thing that I was looking for? Appeal to common practice. In the tendency to give into what is most common. I'm gonna retort, just because everyone does it doesn't mean it is normal to do so. The person persists, you can follow with counterexamples. Yeah, that's crazy. Misrepresenting their argument can look like jumping to conclusions. Yeah, that's why I want to know what the difference is. So jumping to conclusions is... Where's jumping to conclusions? Trying to find it. It's just like very low res on my screen. What the fuck? I can't even find it. Jumping to conclusions. Someone who doesn't have all the necessary elements to conclude on a subject may invent elements without proof in order to reach the desired conclusion. They're late, they really should get a move on. Oh, so jumping into conclusions is more about suggesting what the solution should be instead of like the person in the argument. So it's like, yeah, they're late, it's their fault instead of the other several reasons. Whereas it's like, you think we should check everyone's backpack, but like that is... So yeah, you are suggesting everyone is a thief, is saying that the person's intentions are bad. Therefore, your own conclusion versus designing an argument for the other person. Yeah, it's like your own conclusion would be something like... Jumping to conclusions would be like... The premise is you want to check everyone's backpacks. So instead of saying you're a bad person for believing we should check everyone's backpacks, how would you jump to conclusions in that scenario? You believe that we should check everyone's backpacks, but I think you should just have a better security system. Right? Like, I think you should just have like a sensor that tells you when people are stealing stuff. So like, I'm saying that the conclusion should be something completely different than what you were saying. But that doesn't even make sense because they're already making a solution. So like, suggesting a different solution doesn't necessarily mean that you're jumping to conclusions. I think jumping to conclusions needs to have like a particular event that happens and then you having a belief of what that event means. So it's slightly different. But in this case, you were attacking the person. So that's why it is a straw man. No. No, a straw man is making the argument indefensible. Like the argument of whether you believe everyone is a thief is indefensible. That's why it's a straw man. So bad. I'm not... Okay, it's fine, it's fine. They said there was a high chance of rain today, so if you don't take your umbrella with you, you'll get wet. You might end up getting wet. Is this valid? No. It's appeal to probability. Well, I'm just trying to know why that was different than the other one. It's like you might end up getting wet. So, I don't know. It was close. He broke my pen. It would only be fair to break his, as two wrongs don't make a right. It's 9 p.m. It's time to go to bed. Why? Because it's 9 p.m. High chance of rain, you will get wet. Yeah, this is fair. I guess what I'm saying, again, I was making a generalized conclusion about the questions themselves, but it just looked like the other one, so I got confused. I was like, this sounds like the one that I answered before. And I wasn't sure if I was just misremembering the question that I had before, which, like, honestly, I should just be reading each question by itself. But there's kind of like the curse of knowledge where since I've seen something that looks very similar to it before, it is confusing me. Okay. There are lots of great ingredients in it. That's why the dish is tasty. It says composition. Yeah, so it's like you could have really good sauce. You could have really good deja vu fallacy. You never joined us for lunch. We were wondering if you wanted to come with us this time around. This is valid, right? You can always ask somebody if it is okay, even if they've said no multiple times. I like to ask after about, like, if you've asked like 3 times if somebody wants to do something, and on the 4th time being like, I've invited you a bunch of times, do you want me to continue inviting you or not? I think is like good advice. People who use a body scale tend to lose more weight than others. It's crazy how just stepping on a... That's a good one. That's a good one, dude. Everybody should step on scales more. And by scales, I mean that I am the scale and I want people to step on me more. You will lose weight by doing so. You've just used a fallacy in your own argument. You were wrong. It's a good one. I love this one. It's my favorite one. Children don't always have a taste for vegetables, and there's no harm in not serving any to make your kids happy. The person who has taken care of their children as well as you did should be able to... This is flattery, I think? It does spend more calories than not stepping on a scale. You are so right. You can spend calories by stepping on a scale. I'm really interested in buying this item from you, but the price of $10 is a bit out of my budget. Would you be willing to consider a lower price, or is there already a fixed price? This is valid, but it could also be like an appeal to pity. Like, please pity me that I do not have enough money. I guess there's a difference between the fallacy of appealing to pity and invoking pity in somebody, but also you could just be saying it in the sense that it's like, no, I just don't have the money, like, are you willing to negotiate? It's still fine. I just wasn't sure about the wording, but again, this game isn't necessarily about tone policing people. We need to get a 15. I understand I will go to raising the difficulty, but I do want to get a 15. We'll try doing a couple speed rounds. There's unemployment, so young people have more difficulty finding jobs. This is... Okay, well, I'm cheating, but also... Is this just true? I guess they believe it's true. It feels misleading a little bit. It's like, there can be unemployment for a number of reasons. That's why I was confused. It's out of my budget. You should sell it to me for less as an appeal to pity. That makes sense. You should feel bad for the fact that I can't afford it, so you should sell it to me for less. The Dustborn War flashbacks triggered. Welcome, Marv. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I don't know. People are funny. Humans are just funny little guys, aren't they? Humans are just funny little goobers. They're funny little guys. Did mess up on your hair, but hairdressers do sometimes fail a haircut. That happens. This is a slippery slope? What are they trying to say here? Wait. Yeah, sometimes people mess things up. It's not a huge deal. Is it just valid? Oh? Kill the common practice? I mean, it is just, like, sometimes shit just happens. Like, I don't know. Is it saying that, like... something that most people do to convince you of the same? Are they saying that most people do mess up, so it's normal? That doesn't make it okay that they messed up your current haircut, I guess? It's more of a way of, like, rationalizing it to yourself. But if you're saying it to another person, I don't know, man. That was a little weird to me. I don't know if they were saying it's common practice to mess up. They appointed a new minister, but that doesn't mean that things will necessarily change. This is just true? It's valid? I guess that's why they use valid and not true. It doesn't have to be true. It could just be valid. I'm someone who pay what I owe. No worries. I'll be able to pay you back tomorrow for sure. We haven't seen the definition for wishful thinking. Yeah, this one is wishful thinking. Okay. Assert something only because they want to believe it. Yeah, so the conceit here is that they aren't actually good at paying people back. But they believe that they're good at paying people back because they want the money now. They understand that you understand what they want to believe and explain that just doesn't... Just because they want to believe, that doesn't make it true. Common practice ignores all other variables in the hair example. Yeah, it's like there are several reasons why the haircut could have been messed up. But they didn't point to any of those. They just said, well, shit happens. Say rats are harmless as pets. I think they have no business being in a house because they're pets. Wait, what? We can both be right with our own... This is relativist, I think. Because, well, I mean, it could also be true, right? I don't know. Let's try this one. Let's see. Yeah. So this is the thing that I thought was funny. That was the one that I saw. Not that example specific. But I saw one that was basically like, we both have our opinions on a subject, and that's fine. The thing that I don't fully understand about that one, as far as it goes for fallacies go, is that unless you're trying to prove a point, yeah, it doesn't actually really matter. Like, it is fine to just have opinions. There's no problem with that. It's like, you believe they are pets. I believe they are pests. So, basically saying, I don't want them in my house. You can have them in your house. That's fine. We just disagree on this. Their opinions. But if you were trying to make a conclusion about, like, you shouldn't have a rat in your house because my opinion differs from yours, I don't know. Let's see what their definition on it is. Because asserting when something, like, isn't an opinion and that you should come to some kind of conclusion about it is, like, where the problem usually is. But if it is actually just a matter of opinion, like, rats are both pests and can also be kept as pets. Like, rats can be a pest in the sense that, like, when they are where they're not supposed to be. Harmless as pets versus whether they belong somewhere based on an opinion. Well, yeah, because, like, whether they belong in that person's house is based on their opinion. But yeah, I guess the claim is they are harmless as pets. That is true. Like, it is true that they are harmless as pets. Yeah, so, okay. So they're conflating their opinion with the actual claim. Yeah. They don't really interact. like saying something more along the lines of, they are harmless as pets. Yeah, okay. So they are harmless as pets. That is true. I still would not want to have one in my home because I've seen them be pests in these examples. So it just makes me uncomfortable. I would not personally put one in my house despite the fact that they are actually harmless as pets. Which the thing is, when you say something like that, people basically go like, so what are you, a paranoid fuck? And it's like, no, it's just like uncomfortable. I don't know. I make all kinds of decisions as a human that make no fucking sense that I just like go, well, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable. It's like, what? How does anxiety work? I don't know. I don't feel very good about it, so I don't do it. It's like, it's whatever, man. You have your way of thinking, I have mine. Which again, like this is, this can happen. But this will happen when it is not opinion versus opinion. We basically need to assume that the statement is correct. Like, harmless as pets is a true statement. The thing is, like, I don't actually know if it's a true statement. But we just have to assume that their statement is true. When tossing a coin, it's equally likely to have 4 heads. This is the wait, 4 heads then a tail. To have 5 heads in a row. Wait, isn't this gambler's fallacy? It's not even on here. Is it this? Did I just not read it? Did I not read the question? Wasn't it saying that independent event? Oh my god. What? This is when I'm like not actually reading the question. And then they said it was equal likelihood, right? They did. Okay, so that time they said it was equal likelihood. I thought they were saying the other thing. Okay. This is again me reading the question and not actually reading the question. I was like, this is the probability question where they asserted that they are different probabilities. They said it was equal likelihood, so it was valid. I just didn't read the question. I have an uncle who is 83 years old and he's been smoking since he was 17. However, this is just one isolated example that doesn't allow us to draw any conclusions. This is valid. There's been a transport strike. Newspapers reported on all the people it affected, and the TV showed frustrated-looking bystanders. You can't deny the public is against the movement. This is spotlight fallacy? Is that what this is? Illiteracy fallacy. Yeah. So, how is this different than the biased sample fallacy? Is using the false impression the media gives of a category of people. So this is specifically when the media does it. Okay. We're never getting a 15 out of 15. Probably. There are a bunch of them that I can't, like, place very easily. Played the lottery my whole life, I will win eventually one day for sure. I mean, this is just true. This is just, like, true. If I hadn't been nice to her, she would have refused to become my girlfriend. I've been kind to her the whole year, so she will not turn me down if I ask her. This is... So... Is this? Because this is obviously wrong, but also I don't know what it is called. What is denying the antecedent? Antecedent. When the train has an issue, there is a delay. The train has an issue is the antecedent. The delay is the consequence. Felicia's version can be derived. When the train doesn't have an issue, there is no delay. This is false. We're denying all the other reasons there could be a delay. This is wrong. She has a boyfriend already. Or yeah, I'm just wondering how this applies to the other thing. Because they're saying, I've been nice to her, so she won't say no. Oh, because they said, I've been nice to her, and she said yes one time. And then concluding that that will be correct later? instead of all the other reasons she could say no. I don't know, man. This one's hard. If it's complicated and I don't understand, it's gonna be this one. Easy. If we let them build this skate park, our neighborhood will change. Let's lay down the pros and cons to decide if we should be opposed to that project or not. We'll change for the worse. I think jumping to the solution of pros and cons is also not necessarily. There's horrible stuff happening that they're showing on the news. I really think you should just stop going out. Appeal to fear? Is that what that's called? Spotlight fallacy. Oh, because of the media stuff. So what's appeal to fear then? The weather wasn't good during my days off, and now that it's the weekend, it's cloudy again. It's always the same thing. The weather is bad every time I'm not working. I guess it's a generalization. The fear. My uncle died in a plane crash, so planes are far too dangerous. Anecdotal? Will never be the same. Think of what could happen if to your children if you let them go there at night. So this is appeal to fear. Think of what could happen. We'll definitely get a 15 out of 15. We just need to be really good at this game. I don't know how many more times I want to try it to see if I can. We'll definitely... We'll just reset if we get one wrong. Pencil lead may snap. In that case, you just have to sharpen it. However, rather than deal with sharpening pencils, you can use a mechanical pencil, but they're distinct tools. This is just true. Time to go to bed, because you have to wake up early tomorrow and it's important to have enough sleep. This is just true. I know it's healthy, but I don't like it. This is true. Am I just gonna get a bunch of valid ones? Funny. High chance of rain for today. So if you don't take your umbrella, you could end up like this. Is could valid. There is a chance, so there is a chance. I play guys, but I looked at the statistics and it's still a safe means of transportation. Valid. Time for all of it to be valid. It'll be super funny. 15 valids in a row. It's gonna be hilarious. Gonna be a hit. It's okay if you're not paid up front, you'll get the royalties. Wishful thinking? Telling that housing all the homeless people would be at the expense of taxpayers. You convinced me that it might end up being positive for everyone. However, you didn't prove me that it would be the most profitable thing to do. What does this mean? I'm moving the goalposts, maybe? I don't know. Was it about being profitable or not? I guess it was about being profitable. I don't know. Well, why was it? Yeah, I don't know. What would you have rather... Okay. I think I know why. Because it was first about one thing, and then they said, but what about this other thing? That's why I was moving the goalposts. That makes sense. Would you rather have a decent salary or a fulfilling job? This is a false dilemma. Or is it? Is it a false dilemma in this day and age? I don't know. Hey, yeah, you might have seen me steal this money, but trust me, it's not true. This is just a lie. Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Treat patients, and take care of them, so you don't need to doubt this doctor for your treatment. Anecdotal? Destroying the exception? This is anecdotal, right? Is it this one? Yeah, it's saying like all doctors are great, so this one... Right, because destroying the exception is about look at this broad thing, so don't worry about this single one, even though it could be an exception. Nobody has proven that we can travel time. I'm telling you, it's impossible. This is appeal to ignorance, right? We don't know. We don't know. From your employer. It's either you do what you were asked, or you'll be broken on the streets. This is a false dilemma. Wrong! Echo did it in Arcane. Incredible. Like the idea that wealthy people are fundamentally valuable to society, thus, it doesn't feel fair to increase taxes for them. I'm cheating once again, but I think this is valid because it's just their opinion. This is valid because it's their opinion. Right? It's not any of these. Is that wishful thinking? I don't think so. Is it wishful thinking? Damn. Fucked up at the end. Oh, because they... Right. Wishful thinking is they want to believe in it. So they're yeah, okay. That makes sense. I was thinking, like, I mean, that's your opinion. You're allowed to have your opinion. Or what I should think is not you're allowed to have your opinion. You are allowed to believe what you want. That doesn't change how we should proceed. Is that? No, but if we're looking at the biggest mountain in Europe, this is moving the goalposts. But given your private tutor's rates, you should be getting A+. Is this a appeal to money? Because they're talking specifically about the tutor's rates, right? Yeah. Okay, so we got the one wrong, and the one that we got wrong was because I was correct in saying, like, this just seems like an opinion or, like, not necessarily true, but I didn't have the right one. I'm much smarter than you. Pushes down glasses. Oh, no. Alright. We'll try the highest difficulty thing. Just for fun. Wait, but there's no actual sliders. Only include mild topics. Combo bonus, perfect round bonus, timer bonus. Oh, you could turn off the timer. Oh. Well, we're not doing this. This is just silly, isn't it? 5 rounds of 99. That's just silly. Glossary access. I'll move to the next question. I thought you could amp up the difficulty to extreme. I saw a clip of someone doing a version with like 8 options. Interesting. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know. Writing down a crucial piece of information when I heard a noise. Pencil lead had completely broken off. I looked at the tip and there wasn't some graphite. I rubbed it against the paper, but it only made... Is this just like... Bro is yapping. Maybe you get it for acing the hard mode? Maybe. Many people online have criticized his last work, but those criticisms are just comments on the internet. They're not much worth considering. I mean, they are opinions, but saying that it's on the internet could be a fallacy. Yeah. It's like this pool of people's opinions don't matter, basically. That makes sense. Yeah. The reason why, because, again, like, these things could be true in a way. That's the problem. So it's like, as far as a fallacy goes, yeah, but also, like, you can't afford to care about every single person's opinion. Specifically as someone who makes things on the internet, you can't just be like, oh yeah, like one person, like there was a group of people who had criticisms of it. They didn't like it for these reasons. You still have to go, I guess you could say you still have to go through each opinion with some degree of validity, but pragmatically, like that's not true. You are still allowed to say, well, like, let's fuck all these people's opinions and just move on with your life. Like, you are just allowed to do that. So it depends what the claim is. Is the claim, how do you best improve a work through using criticism? Because criticism also doesn't necessarily improve the quality of a work. There's like the, what's it called? The iteration loop problem, where like in design you might say like, oh, well, keep changing things to keep improving it. But like at some point in time, you could have just stopped. The claim there was these opinions are less important because they are from people online, which is invalid. I don't know. That's just true though. Yeah, I guess that's the thing, right? Is that like, it has to do with the claim, not how you want to live your life. Like if you want to, I guess what I'm saying is like, if you want to invalidate people's opinions because they're from online, you're allowed to do that. But that doesn't make it like good, right? The claim is not true. But that's the thing, it's like, I wasn't trying to factually claim that it was true. I just don't want to fucking listen to the opinions of people online. I don't care. I'm not saying it's good or bad to listen to these people's opinion. I just don't want to fucking do it. So, the reason why guacamole is fresh in salsa is that because it's better. This is appeal to money. Oh, did we get one wrong, by the way? I don't remember if we got, like, the second one wrong. Exactly what an idiot would say. This is a... What is this? It's confusing, so maybe it's this one. No, there's appeal to spite. So what is appeal to spite? Try to attack you personally by mentioning things that could harm your reputation. So this is a... such as insults. So this is if someone insults you. Escalate the exchange into a quarrel. Assume to their level by responding is to be avoided. Try to ignore these comments. So I'm going to redo this. You don't want to listen to online people. You don't need to make unsound logical arguments to do so. You're selling this for $10, but I wasn't willing to buy it at all. Put the difference out with 5. Is it this? If you don't want to listen to people online, you don't need to make unsound logical arguments to do so. So you could instead say something like, I understand that the criticism of these people could be valid. However, it is too many people for me to be able to interpret. Frankly, I don't actually want to have to go through them right now because I have other things that I need to do. Like, these are all valid. I have other things I need to do. There are too many people and I don't want to deal with it. You don't need to say that their opinions... You don't need to claim that their opinions are invalid in order to have a reason to not need to go to their opinions. Or not need to interface with their opinions. This is true. Maybe true according to you, but not according to me. That may be true according to you. But is it true according to them, or is it actually true? Because that depends. We have to assume that their claim is true, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure... Well, that's the thing, is like, that's true according to you. If it is a matter of opinion, then it's true. They didn't give us any context for what the claim is. Your on-screen chat box for Twitch is slightly misaligned and cuts off the rightmost part of the text. Rightmost part of the text? Yeah, I mean, because I need to do this every time. And, like, it just depends where it cuts off, right? I think that's fine. Did you read Relativist? I did. It's basically, if there is a factual claim, and you say that's just your opinion, man, then that's kind of where the problem is. But in that example, it wasn't clear what the claim was. He's a jerk, so what he says is false. This is appeal to spec. I think you threw away my banana. Prove me you didn't do it or you'll have to pay me back. Shifting burden of proof. It's not my job. At titanium parts, titanium is more resistant than aluminum or steel, making it a very durable device. Composition. The thing made out of it is very strong. Therefore, it is strong. The Earth is flat, and I won't accept any argument that contradicts this because it is part of a conspiracy. All these arguments are fabricated from scratch. I mean, this is just true, guys. This is just, I hate to break it to you. World is flat. I am the world. I am flat. So this is it this one? This is, okay. Specifically, it's appeal to consequences because it's, I'm going to shape all of the things that would say otherwise to what I believe in, right? I just want to double check that one. It's like basically saying these photos aren't real, right? Yeah, they must be fake. Exactly. Oh, you're right. It is a custom game. I don't know. Let's find out. People who think we should sort of trash are idiots. Very funny. Our burgers are indeed high in calories, but the vegetable portion is much larger in our new recipe. Is it a red herring? The vegetables have nothing to do with the calories. Music booty isn't accessible to idiots because to be able to appreciate music, it is necessary to need to have high intelligence to like Rick and Morty. I'm pretty sure it's this one. No? Wait. Oh, is it because... Oh, it's because they said idiot because you're an idiot. That's why. Okay. Yeah. I was too busy trying to make a meme to read the question. Also, I'm gonna leave so that we can do the hard mode one. Prog rock fans be like. Alright, see you later, Marv. Thanks for being here. Sorry, I'm really trying. I am actually trying. Absent for 0 days guarantees an end-of-year bonus. He did have 1 day absent. He shouldn't have gone the bonus. Needs to be taken back. What is this? Is it this one? No, I wanted to see what the... I was hoping it was right so that I could see what the thing was. Because we haven't seen that one yet. But it was the other one. I don't remember what denying the antecedent is. And 3 restaurants that I've tried on a whim, and each time I stumbled upon high-quality ones. This one is... This one, Hot Hand. We're definitely going to the moon with this one again. 83 has been smoking, so I don't worry about it. This is anecdotal. What is the Mata Bailey thing? Spoiled brats don't dare to come lecture us. This is spite. The insults. Oranges have no seeds. There's only a 1% I'll counter one. Won't happen to you, so feel free to take a bite without worrying. Built to probability? Chances are pretty good. But it could also just be false. I don't know. Is this true? Like, don't worry about it. 1% chance. You won't get hit by lightning. Doesn't mean you can't get hit by lightning. Doesn't mean things will necessarily change. This is valid. Labeled new recipe, but since I don't know what they changed, it's hard to say if it's better than before. This is just valid. He'll never do what he promised because his true hidden intentions aren't those. What? He'll never do what he promised. Appeal to motive. He has a different motive. Don't see how this team could lose. Could lose? They won all their matches until now. This is hot hand. You may think climate change is a real problem for humankind, but I'm not sure it's that important. That's okay, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So this was the one that I saw the bald man say, well, that's just your opinion. Which again, the claim that climate change is bad for humanity is probably true. As in, like, you know, the consequences of climate change is bad. How you feel about the consequences of climate change, though, is like an opinion. I think that's what it was. Keep seeing on TV people who receive aid without working and bragging about it. Poor people are lazy. Is Spotlight because of the media? Round 3. When you gain muscle, your weight on the scale often goes up. I just checked my weight. I've gained some muscle. Is it this one? It's not the other one, so I'm assuming it's this one. I haven't seen the definition of this, though. It's like a confirmation bias, right? We have a cause that is known to imply a consequence. I missed the bus, so I'm late. If you don't pay attention, you can be made to believe that the cause happened just by mentioning the consequence. Even though this isn't necessarily true. He missed the bus, then he's late. He is late here, therefore he missed the bus. Isn't this like the other one? It's one of the possibilities is, but you can't deduce that. Oh, we've already seen this one. I don't know. Point is, I stepped on the scale, therefore I gained muscle. There could have been another reason. You read this one. Yeah, okay. You prefer bananas, I prefer carrots. We each have our preferences, and that's okay. This is actually just... And we don't know the relativist one, so... Or relativist one, so we know that it's not the opinion thing. When tossing a coin, it is equally likely to have 4 heads than a tail, than to have 5 heads in a row. This is true. This is... I actually read the probability one instead of shortcutting it. If you have the connections, you'll be able to find a job. If you don't have them, though, you just won't get a job. This is not true. It's just not true. Thank you for the head pat. You want to end world hunger? Oh, please. When do you plan on doing that? Next Tuesday? This is ridicule? It's making a meme to make you look stupid. Nice. We aced it. We actually read the probability question. Let's go. Extreme difficulty. Several options may fit, but only choose the one that fits the best or you'll lose. The difficulty is merciless. Alright. Check this out. Appeal to ridicule is a-okay if it is used against me. Alright. Easiest ace of my life. Go ahead and try it. Most people have tried smoking at some point in their lives. Common practice? It is okay because other people do it. Oh, and none of them are valid? It's never... Wait. So these are never going to be valid. That's interesting. Also, my phone is running out of battery, so if I plug this in, is it going to start lagging again? My question. I don't know why it was lagging before. Maybe because it was charging at 100%? I don't know. It's so confusing to me. They are advocating for a progressive wealth taxation. If we let them implement that, the next step might be straight off expropriation. This is a slippery slope, right? party was a total failure. People who were here must have been a bunch of idiots. This is spite, right? I guess not. Is it genetic? Composition? The people here are idiots? No. Division. It was saying that it's the opposite. It's that one... Wait. No, division is... Division confuses me. How do you divide 2 by 1? One part of it was bad, so therefore the rest of it was bad, right? No pain, no gain. Popular belief? I don't know. Destroying the exception. No pain, no gain is destroying the exception? Wait, why? You can get gains without having pain. So you're just saying that doesn't exist. It could just be pain. Group bad because of its parts. Yeah, that's division, right? But then, how does it... But composition is it's made out of good, so it's good. But it doesn't have to do with good or bad, does it? Are they both because good and bad? Group is bad, therefore the parts must also be bad. Incorrect. Gains accompany pain, but pain does not always accompany gains. Yes? I mean, it depends, right? I guess I was gonna say it depends on what your definition of pain is. Alright, restart. I want to see if I can get a perfect on this. I doubt it, but let's see if we can get anywhere close. Prices are rising, but raw material costs aren't increasing as much. It could mean that big companies are artificially inflating their prices to boost profits without providing much value. This would imply that an unregulated economy like this one, a sport can be detrimental. Therefore, there must be another explanation for inflation. What the fucking holy shit, this is so long. This one? Yeah, what is this again? Appeal to ignorance. You are alone, motherfucker! What the fuck? That's fucked up. I don't remember why. Also, I'm not alone. I have chat. You heard me say we should check everyone's backpack when leaving the store, and now you're accusing me of not respecting people's privacy. But it's just a quick glance, and it's not everyone, just those who look suspicious. What the fuck? What is the claim? Motive? Moving the goalposts? Yeah, so this... Okay, this one. We don't know this one. Oh, I can't read it. I don't know what this one is yet. I want to go read that one. Because I don't know what it is. Is it like generalization about who you think is suspicious? Should really put music in here. It's a medieval structure where an exposed village is located near a tower on top of a mound that provides an advantage in case of attack. This analogy, the speaker will present a weak argument in the village. When you try to debate it, they'll modify the argument and make it less controversial and more solid, the tower. Where the straw man modifies the opposing argument to make it more attackable, here's their own argument that is modified only when questioned in order to better defend it. Ah, this is funny. Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of like moving the goalposts, sort of. But it's like, well, it's weird to not have music, I'm sorry. But it's kind of like, it's like, do you agree with this thing? It's like, no. Well, but like, what if it was like this? While trying to still prove the first part, I guess. Makes sense to me. Oh, but actually, Tried to date someone of the same sex, the priest told us so. This is an appeal to authority, right? The priest is the authority. There are allegations against him. That said, he is not all there mentally nowadays. Appeal to pity. He's just not mentally there. He's just a silly little guy. After a smear campaign. Given everything we now know, would you say that you're a racist person? It's very funny. Given we know you like fat anime asses, would you say that you are racist? I've only been in one car crash in my life, and it was a woman driving. Jesus Christ. So question about the fact that women are worse at driving. So this is anecdotal. It's very funny. It's just so crazy. They kept the craziest questions. They pointed to Mr. At last, the situation will improve. This is jumping to conclusions. I believe that the situation will improve because of this. No? Appeal to novelty. Oh, because he's new. That makes sense. That makes sense, actually. We'll keep going. These terrorists have killed over 1,000 innocents and taken hundreds of our citizens hostage. Seems reasonable to respond by bombing their city. Maybe I should have clicked the... Maybe I should have clicked the no spicy topics. They send reports about bugs in the game, but they are neither beta testers nor quality assurance testers, so I don't care. This is a... what is it called? Is it division? Genetic, right? Like, these people are bad, so therefore... I'm sure no politician is honest, therefore it isn't possible for a politician to put in place the measures they propose once in power, as that would imply honesty on their part. This is their belief, and their belief... God, what is it again? Is it this one? No, it's the... this is the, like... Oh, I can't read it. But again, it's like, I believe a particular thing, so therefore, it's appeal to consequences. The names are hard for the ones that I don't know. How could it harm you? Appeal to nature. I used to answer to all your messages in minutes. Now it can take days or weeks to answer, but you're making such a big deal out of it. I swear absolutely nothing has changed on our relationship. Or it may be that you are getting possessive. Shit, what is it again? Is that spite? We just read this one. Spite, strawman? No, it's just a lie. Damn, there was something in there that was just not true. I don't know. Supporting peaceful demonstration. There was some unrest on the outskirts of the demonstration. You're partially responsible for the violent acts. There's a loaded question. Nothing has changed after listing a real change. Ah, I see. Okay, yeah. That's true. Because what I was going to say was, like, just because these two things have changed does not actually mean anything else has changed. But to say that nothing has changed at all is a lie. You shared their activity. This person wants to keep their conversation secret. They must be a criminal. This is an appeal to motive. False equivalency. Yes, I think that that's true. Weekly, you lose at the lottery brings you a week closer. This is a gambler's fallacy. Complaining that he took all of your lunch. Oh, what we'll do is he's going to give you one of the two sandwiches back, and then you can make peace with him. Shit, I don't know. Middle ground? Yeah, it's like, let's just make it equal and it'll be fine. Like, not necessarily true. We ban people from carrying a knife in the streets. The next step is going to be that we won't even be able to have access to basic tools like scissors. It's a slippery slope. We got a lot of them right. Some of them I just didn't know. Like, the ones that I just don't remember. I guess 11 out of 15 is not incredible. Alright, let's try it one more time. Huge. We're huge this time. For real. Do you mean it's too late to turn up the music? Basically, you're saying we shouldn't have any fun at all. Fuck, we already fucked it up. This one? No, it was a straw man. Oh, no. Yeah, we shouldn't have any fun at all is the problem. This is the last one, so you're due for 15 out of 15. We fucked it up immediately. Yeah, you don't want to have any fun at all is an indefensible position. 15 out of 15 wrong. No. It's fine. No, we'll just get a 15 out of 15 this time. Here we go. This is the last one for real, for sure this time. I've received a damaged package. I'm never ordering anything online again. This is anecdotal, but I think it's this one. Oh, I can't check the I keep wanting to check the definition for the purposes of, like, I wanted to confirm, because we haven't read this one yet, I don't think. But I've seen that question. Started this debate saying my problem with immigration was the financial burden on the country, and I'll admit you convinced me that the impact of the finances is actually net positive. But, so this is moving the goalpost. But what about these other things? And I think it's fine to say, like, okay, but what about these other things? But, I don't know. There's different problems. You find partners, but I'm not beautiful, so I'll have a hard time finding a partner. This is, I mean, it's just not true, right? Shit, I don't know. Correlation? These things correlate? Denying the antecedent. Yeah, again, this is... I can't read it again. I keep wanting to read it, so I can remind myself, but I don't remember. It's like, it's not necessarily true. It's fine. I claim that God exists. You can always try to prove that he doesn't, though. Shifting the burden of proof. It's not my job to prove whether God exists or not. You're the one making the claim. Ever join us for lunch? Why are you so upset with us like that? This is jumping to conclusions, right? Not necessarily true that they hate you. They could, though. They could still hate you, though. All the men I meet only have one thing in mind. All men are such perverts. This is jumping to conclusions, right? All the men I've met... I mean, it could be anecdotal because they're actually speaking from their own experience. Okay. Generalization. That makes sense. Based on my experience, I will generalize. That makes sense. But it could also be anecdotal. Like, the thing is, they could have actually only ran into men who only have one thing in mind. So that's their own anecdote. That doesn't make it true. The first part of the statement doesn't cause the second part of it to be true. So if the first part isn't true, that doesn't mean the second will also not be true. Which one was that for? Dogs make people happy. I don't have a dog. I can't be happy. Yeah, the first... Antecedent. The first part isn't true. That doesn't mean the second... Yeah. So the first part, I don't have a dog, doesn't mean that I can't be happy. They did say some questions would have multiple issues, and your task was to pick the most correct one. Yeah, I mean, but what's the most correct is like their own opinion. That's just like their opinion, man. It's just their opinion. It's not on me. Only cells, and those cells lack unique features that could account for consciousness. Therefore, we must conclude that consciousness originates from beyond our physical realm. It's evidence for the existence of the soul. Shit, I don't even know what they were saying. Is this a genetic? They're saying that the composition of the brain. Composition. Yeah. It's like, because it is made up of this, I'm gonna make a conclude. That's what I was trying to get to. Sounds like a lot of far-right talking points. Damn, this extreme mode is hilarious. Guilt by association. Oh, that makes sense. Because they're saying you're part of a group. Okay, that makes sense. But they are trying to basically insult them. No country ever abolished real estate rental. You really don't know what could happen. This is ignorance, right? Damn, the extreme mode's like fucking hilarious, dude. Because this is the real life arguments that people would make. The cutting edge tech right now revolves around blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFTs, and AI. And you can ignore it all if you want, but you'll be left behind. This is the future. Appeal to novelty, right? Dude, it's the new thing. It's gonna be fucking ass blasting your dick off. You got it. You're gonna be left behind. Saying that women have always been paid less than men and conclude that we should continue doing so. You are making an appeal to tradition. This is a fallacy. Okay. What, you want to quit drinking? You know, it's very common to have a drink or two during meals. It shouldn't worry you. This is an appeal to common practice. Should be fine to have drinks. We've never before put diced tomatoes in guacamole, therefore we shouldn't do it now. This is appeal to tradition. We've never done it before, so we shouldn't do it now. There are other reasons, but also, I want to improve at detecting fallacies by playing a quiz game, but even after hours of time playing, you won't be able to detect all the fallacies in your daily life. It's pointless. This is a perfect solution. You're never gonna be able to be perfect at it, so you shouldn't even do it in the first place. Can explode and kill millions. You might be in danger right here, right now. Let's revert to using coal instead. This is to fear. It could blow up at any moment, so we should be concerned. Were the only ones I got wrong the ones that were like half right? I think so. We got 4 wrong. I want to check the questions. Yeah, this one I think I just got wrong. But yeah, because correlating causation is like, if this wasn't true, beautiful people easily find partners. If that just wasn't true, then they're making like correlation causation. Because it's like, well, you're correlating that beautiful people find partners, which doesn't necessarily, it's not true. Coal power plants have never malfunctioned and killed people. Yeah, I've never seen that happen. Yeah, this could have been anecdotal, but hasty generalization makes sense. This, I was trying to get the right one. I actually understood what they were getting at here, but I did not pick the right one. An appeal to spite. Again, this is guilt by association by saying, like, you are in this other group of people, and you should feel bad about being in that group of people. But also, this does, like, the way they said it, kind of felt like an insult. Which I guess they're not, like, saying it as an insult. They could just be defaultly saying, what you said sounds like a lot of far-right talking points. Like, they could be saying that as not an insult. But you should feel guilt. Nah, but, like, right? Guilt by association is kind of like an insult, sort of. It felt like, how would you say it more as an insult? Like, you're a far-right person. Like, you are. Yeah, association is by saying, by grouping with other people. Yeah. So, this is an insult, but it is specifically an insult by grouping you with other people. I would say pretty good, honestly. Also, the extreme round questions, fucking hilarious. So funny. Anecdotal is more like they're basing it off of a story they heard. That example sounds like a small sample size, which would be a generalization. Yeah, it's like, I don't remember the other anecdotes that they did, but like anecdotal, yeah. So anecdotal would mean one story they had. So that example as an anecdote would be like, my last partner was a pervert, like that's my experience, my one single last partner was a pervert, therefore my next partner will be. Or like I believe then that my next partner or man, whatever, would be a pervert. Whereas saying like, this is my experience, so therefore I will generalize about an entire group is a generalization. Yeah, all right. I mean, I think we did okay. I think we did all right. I think we're pretty reasonable here. I do actually find it hilarious that the extreme mode is like damn, they went fucking, they cranked their hog with that shit. That's so funny. Because like, again, I don't know, man. People are allowed to have their beliefs, and like there's no issues with like, once again, the fallacy. Sometimes people will explain something because like they have observed it to be true. Like there is like a trueness in what they're trying to say. It's just that like it is difficult to explain things within like a fully logical, like it's a perfect solution thing, right? Kind of. You could say that it's sort of like that, where it's like, well, just because like we need to be able to perfectly explain ourselves using no fallacies at all whatsoever, right? But no paddle today unless you wanted it. I am not going to make any comments about that. So what was the thing that I was saying? It's basically saying, okay, well, it's useless to even try to explain using fallacy or not explain using fallacy or whatever. Like that doesn't matter. It's just kind of like a thing. It's good. It's good to have fallacious arguments that actually get used, and it just so happens most of these are related to heated political topics. What a strange coincidence. Yeah, no, it's just funny. It's like, I don't take it that seriously, you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't... It doesn't... My beliefs don't have to be... Like, let's say, for example, you know, like... Let's say I was a very religious person. You could now imply I'm religious or not religious. I think I've actually said I'm not, like, particularly religious. But something along the lines of, like, I claim God exists, you can always prove that he doesn't, though. Like, this is shifting burden of proof, right? But, like, just because, even if I knew people who said that, or, like, I'm religious, or, like, you could say that there's, like, a guilt by association by saying, well, you know religious people who, like, shift the burden of proof, so don't you think that that's, like, silly? Like, that is also, like, a fallacy? Like, that's not... It doesn't matter, man. Like, I know people who are like this. That doesn't mean I go up to them every single day and go, like, don't you think you're shifting the burden of proof? It's like, it doesn't fucking matter, man. It doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. Your opinions aren't that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. That's why I find this shit so funny. So, okay, the other ones, so I got 4 wrong. All the men I meet, the brain consists only of cells, and those cells lack unique features that could account for consciousness. Therefore, we must conclude that consciousness originates from beyond the physical realm. It's evidence for the existence of the soul. So this is like the composition of the brain. So we know that the brain exists in a particular way. So therefore, because it consists in this way, it must mean that. Because of what this is composed of, I'm going to make this completely other conclusion. And then, this was what you said sounds a lot like far-right talking points. This is a guilt by association. Which, again, to me, sounds like you could be saying it as an insult. But the main point is that you're grouping them with another set of people for the purposes of undermining the argument. Which is why it's a guilt by association. When they said the thing about the, like, yo, but did you see who this guy was following on Twitter? I fucking lost my mind, dude. That shit's so funny to me. I don't know. So people will say that shit with their whole ass. It's great. Okay. Anyways. Not every conversation needs to be a logical fencing contest. How odd. Yeah, I know, right? This was like... Alright, that was the Fallacy Quiz. I wasn't sure if I was going to have that much fun with that, but it is funny to me. The entire realm of logical fencing contests and actually fallacy A similar real argument that was used in the past was using the design of flagella to try and prove intelligent design. I'm not sure I understand what that is, or at least argue for it. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, they were basically saying, like, something along the lines of, well, they consist like this, so therefore... Yeah, okay. I understand. X is weird, so God must have made it. Oh my god. Yeah, that was the Fallacy Quiz. Wow. Were you able to spot the fallacy? Did you follow along? Did you get all of them wrong? Because as the claim I made at the start of the stream was, chat is stupid because they're dumb. They are. I typed it as they are, and I was like, no, man, it's not funny enough. We gotta increase the bit. Yeah, this shit's just funny to me. This was fun. I don't know if it was worth the 20-minute bit, but here we are. Or I don't know if it was worth the $20 bit, but I just felt like doing it. This shit's funny to me. But that's gonna be it for today. So, what I'm going to say is, if you're still here, hey, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm really hoping my voice recovers or throat recovers, because I can tell it's getting tired again. By Wednesday, I would like to play more Monster Hunter. I'd really like to play more. But also, I wanted to play this already on like Friday or something, and then I didn't do it, so. Fallacy Plapper Flar, that's what they call me. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your support as always, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. Bye-bye.